Morning. Starting early this morning. Cheers. Hey Yuri, thanks for letting me know about the typo. It's fixed now. Ooh, Daniel's making a loaf of bread. Yum. Make sure you share with everyone afterwards when it's done. Wow, sounds like echo in here. Hey Ezzy. Oh boy. We're a few minutes early. I just was sitting here anyway, so I thought I'd just start the stream. Might get my coffee drunk before it's cold. Unassemble testing hat. This isn't a good sign. No. Well, I always planned on building this on the stream. This is a good sign. Well, maybe. I've already found a mistake with it. Now I'm going to build this live. Hey Gavin. Hello Brian. Hey Alan. Hey Paul. Hey Michael. Good evening. Okay, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. I'm going to call you L. Because I don't know. I'm not going to insult you by... I mean, surname Lelev, that sounds fine, but I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry. Hey Andy Mouse. Hey Michael, I was telling Brian yesterday that I miss his streams. He doesn't miss doing them, but I miss watching them. Yeah. Hopefully he'll get back to doing them soon. Why is it so bright? Why is my camera so bright? Wow. Hey Mike. Evening. Ah, boy. Look at all these little Adafruit bags I've got. Lots of little Adafruit bags. We'll go through those in a moment. Boy, have I got a story to tell you all. Ah. Hey, all the things. It's like, Gavin, we've all got so much extra free time now. Don't know what to do with it. Yeah, oh well. I totally get why Brian can't stream anymore at the moment, so that's fine. Still, I'll have to get my fix some other way. Hey Leo. Good morning. Thanks. Thanks, Andy. Everyone thumbs up. Even backwards thumbs up. Hey, Crazy Roops. Oh, the kettle's ready. Yeah, I just made mine. My coffee's really hot. It's burnt my tongue. Capricorn PTFE tubing. Hello, Sam. Where's my camera? Which camera? My web camera? It's on my monitor that's all the way over there. I can't even reach. It's, it just, yeah, they're really light sensitive. Extremely light sensitive. Coffee. Oh, black screen. Refresh your browser. It's working here. Does everyone got normal picture? Has everyone got picture? Yeah. Just try restarting your browser, Yuri. It's definitely working. My wife was helping me make. What were you making? Helping you with your blockers or something else? Hey Nicholas. Oh, nice glass of Sauvignon Blanc. Nice. I can't compare, but yeah, I think 7 o'clock in the morning is a bit too early to start drinking wine for me. Not a huge alcohol drinker anyway, but I'm normally a red guy. But, wow. Good on you, Caroline. Brian, make sure you give her a thanks from all of us. It's pretty good. The others wouldn't help me, or she would, but No, she wouldn't. She'd offer, knowing very well that I'd say no. Hey Gregor. Hey J-Man. I started the stream a few minutes early this morning, folks. For those of you just joining in now, just because I was sitting here twiddling my thumbs. So, I'm in no hurry to get to this. Kind of. I've got a wonderful story to tell everyone. So how was everyone's week? Did everyone have a good week? I had a shizen week. Yaz, she's not watching. That's okay. No, I should be first person to admit it. Yeah. That's all good. I had a Scheisenhausen. I had a terrible week. Terrible week. I'll tell you all about it soon. Yeah, I didn't get to watch Dave's video this morning. I really wanted to watch it. That kid looks really cool. I'm actually thinking of getting one. Don't tell how it finished, Andy. No spoilers. I'm assuming you got it working, but no spoilers, please. I'm going to watch that when I finish the stream. I'm thinking of selling them on Amazon for the laugh. Oh, wow. For the shits and giggles. Did I just swear on my stream? Oh no. So, I'm going to wait a couple more minutes and then I'm going to tell you all about my wonderful week. No one's telling me about their week. How was everyone's week? Last stream, I think it was last stream, we said we should skip the month. Yeah, we should have skipped the month. I was harsh on giving a piece of E3 to my wife at Christmas. Her first soldering. Wow. Wow, Paul. That's pretty full-on soldering task. Reversed LEDs for first soldering. Yeah, you've been all consumed, Brian. I know that. Mum, learning Ruby, Mike. Wow, cool. Yeah, that's cruel. Reversed LEDs for first soldering task. Wow. Although I figure if you can do that, you can do anything, right? Okay, so she's a legend, yeah. Apparently. Apparently she's a better solderer than me, and probably 90% of the people on this chat. Oh, okay, I shouldn't say that. How was my week? My week was terrible. I'm about to tell you all about it. Yeah, heard about the news about Simone. Very, very sad. Hey, Greg. Oh no, Greg's had man flu. Are you better now? Are you feeling better? Yeah, Ruby's kind of 2008. It's kind of 2002. Yeah. Oh, only lost the snooker. Oh well. What? Leo got a job? Oh yeah, right. Mike's doing it for a job. Right, okay. 2002 was a PHP. Okay, close. Whatever. Hey, I'm out of the loop. What would I know? I've lived in the C-sharp land for too long. A couple of LEDs got too toasty. Just coughing and spluttering. I'm glad that I can't hear you all the way from here, Greg. Definitely glad. Okay, so is everyone ready for a TinyPICO story? I'm dreading this conversation. I need to move all this out the way. I've got a show and tell. Show and tell time. So, some of you might have seen my video where I built a couple of TinyPICOs. Get nice and close. Well, that's as close as I can get. In focus? I think we're in focus. Looks like we're in focus. Yay! How cool do they look? Black TinyPICOs, black and Enig. There's no RAM on the bottom of them. They look awesome, don't they? It's everything I imagined they'd look like. Except they don't work. They don't work, they don't work, they don't work. So, I built two. No shorts. Just before everyone starts guessing, before everyone starts guessing, just let me continue with my story. Trust me, it's a good one. Built two, neither of them, check the power, power's fine. So 5 volts fine, 3.3 volts fine, battery voltage is fine. Couldn't recognise the serial. Debunked. Got one of them to recognise the serial, but not the other one. I've used 3 CP2104s from 2 different batches. I've swapped out the twin NPN pre-bias transistor. I've reseeded the Pico. Can't get it to recognise the serial at all. Nothing. Nada. This one I can recognise the serial. It won't flash the chip. It fails instantly on flashing the chip. You could sell this batch as great looking ear hangers. Yeah, I can make a... Hey Dirk! I can make a couple of earrings out of it. What do you reckon? They look beautiful. Right, one looks like a bridge on top pins. No, there's no bridge. Oh, you mean those here? That is a bridge, correct. That's supposed to be. Those two are joined, and those two top ones here are joined. Just wait before... Seriously, don't bother debunking. Just let's go with it. So, now, in my whole time of building TinyPICOs, I've only ever had one board failed. One board I had to rework a CP2104, and it worked second time. I've only had one board fail, and there was a short on the board, and it blew the board before I had a chance to do anything with it. So that was dead. Other than that, I've never had a failed TinyPICO, right? I had 2 in a row. I thought, wow, that is nuts. I spent about 4 hours. So these are the 2 I built on that video. Once upon a time. It's a story time. Come on. Humour me. Humour me. So these are the 2 I built on the video. I spent about 4 hours afterwards. Could not get either of them working. Right? So I went, okay, great. And I said, I'm going to just forget it. I'm going to build another one. So I built another one. Now I have 3. Does not work. I now have 3 that don't work. This one wouldn't recognise the CP2104. I pulled it off, gave the board a real nice clean, then hot aired it back on again, got it to recognise the CP2104, it recognises the Pico, it fails flashing. Hey Chris, if I've missed anyone along the way, hey Alex, sorry I wasn't looking up. If I've missed anyone, I apologise. It fails writing. It gets 4% into writing the flash and it fails. So we've got, in order, no USB, USB but will not flash, won't even start the flash. It says it's a faulty Pico. This one starts flashing but fails. So I did this one the second day. So this is over 2 days, right? So I came back nice and refreshed to do it all. Spent, again, the rest of that day on all 3 of them, trying to fix all 3. Can't fix anything. So what changed in the design between this one and my previous one? The only change was the logo on the back. See that? It was just a silk change. That was the only change, judging by the progression. The only change between the 2 was, I mean, apart from this being black and Enig, and this being green and Hassel, was one silk. So, I was not happy. Not happy. So after these 2 failed, I decided that it could be my paste. Right? Now, one of these, I can't remember which one's which anymore, was done with this, my Chip Quick, which has expired. It's only just expired, right, by about a month, right? It's been in the fridge the whole time, and it's still wet. So technically, it hasn't started drying, technically it's okay. And what I did was, before I used it, was I took one of my previous boards, right, this is my RevX, and I put paste on, and I just reflowed the board, just as is, right? just to make sure that the paste works. And it does. It reflowed beautifully. It's nice and shiny. No issues with it. So, one of these boards is using my Chip Quick. Two of the boards is using my usual paste. Oops, where is it? Usual paste that I use. So they're both T3, they're both low temp, right? And all three failed. So I ordered some new paste, which was supposed to get here last Friday, which it didn't. Then it was supposed to get here yesterday, and it didn't. Apparently it's coming today. And it is a T4 paste, and it is industrial, super expensive paste. It comes in jars of 500 grams. So that's a jar of 250. It's twice the size. That's the only way you can buy it. It's a Loctite paste, and it is designed to be not refrigerated. Is it a happy ending? Oh, well, you have to wait. It's my story. And I've got hours. I've got hours to tell this story. Sorry. So it's a special industrial paste. It's designed to be kept out of the fridge. So it's got no warm-up time. It can survive out of the fridge for a year. It's designed for a production line, right? It's got 24 hours on a stencil without having to be cleaned. So I can leave it on a stencil. I've got 24 hours it can sit on a board. Like, I can paste a board and let the board sit there for 24 hours before I populate it, and apparently you can still use it. It's a really high-grade paste. But it's T4. So for those of you that don't know the difference, so it's T3, T4, T5. The higher the number, the smaller the solder balls. The smaller the solder balls in the paste, the better it is for fine pitch, and the better the reflow. Sion is smiling. Must be a happy ending. So, I wanted to work out why these boards were stuffed. So I started examining the boards under my microscope. Now, of course, I can't show you under my microscope today, but I took photos. And I'm going to show you some photos because I discovered why these boards are failing. And I was not happy at all. So, shall we have a look at why the boards are failing? Or he's bluffing. I'm not bluffing. I'm in a good mood today. But I'm not happy about this. Let me tell you, if I was streaming yesterday, you'd see a very angry Sion. Very angry Sion. So, I'm just going to switch to my desktop. And I'm going to show you a picture. A couple of pictures. Here's the first picture. So this was actually not taken with my microscope. This was taken from, I bought a new lens for my camera, a macro lens, so I can do really nice close-up shots for my product shots. So here's the first thing. The solder mask registration is completely out, as you can see, right? It's so far out that it's exposing some tracks. That's ENIG, that is an exposed copper trace from this trace here. Yeah. So that was the first thing, but it gets worse because then it occurred to me that, ready for this one? This one, it's a bit zoomed out more, I'm sorry, not as close. Can I zoom this? Let me see. I can zoom this, wait. Check this out. Look at this, look at these pads. I've got no yeast. Okay, Daniel, thanks. You can see on the first photo, it's shifted up and right. Yeah, but forget about the registration. Look at this. There's no solder mask around any of the pads. Nothing. Look at the green. See the solder mask? There's solder mask between all the pads. Now, the registration on the green's not great either. Don't get me wrong. As you can see. It's a little closer. But even still, look around, look at all these caps. Look, see the caps and the pads? There's solder mask between them all. Look at the black. No solder mask. Not only no solder mask, look at these pads. So between the registration being off and what it turns out to be a limitation on their... Now, I thought it was just black. Just hang on. I know there's lots of comments coming. Just let me finish. And then 3 days of emailing and chatting on WeChat with JLC PCB. It turns out that they have specific requirements for everything other than green. And that is that their minimum bridge... Now, it's an interesting thing because this is not a setting you can get inside, or not in Eagle anyway. Their minimum distance they can do between copper, so let's say between these two pads. Now let me just zoom in. Sorry, this is going to go a bit blurry, but I apologise. The minimum distance they can do here, can everyone see my mouse? Is 0.25 millimeters. And this gap here is 0.2, which means they are incapable of filling solder mask in a gap this small. And it is something to do with the pigment, with the colour and the way they apply a non-green solder mask. I believe it has something to do with the fact that they have to apply it maybe more than once. It's not it's not a resolution thing. It's potentially whatever the material is made up of and how many times they have to apply it. So what it meant was, let me just go back to the other picture because the other picture is clearer. What it means is because there's no solder mask between any of these pads, there's nothing preventing any bridging at all. I'm going to get we're doing a lecture time. Sorry folks. For those that don't know, we're gonna do a I'm gonna do a bit of a lecture. If I can find a pen. Here's a pen. Hang on, what did I miss? Something seriously wanted to reflow well. That's not going to reflow well at all. No. Different fab for ENIG. This is not an ENIG specific thing. This is a solder mask specific thing. I've spoken to JLC PCB. I'll get to there at the moment. Maybe you need to get sponsorship. It's light grey between the copper contact. The light grey is it is just the board. There's no solder mask there. What you're seeing is just the FR4. You're seeing the black from the back coming through the FR4. It's not a conductor, no. They can do 0.2 for green solder mask. No, well, they can do 0.2. They can do less than 0.2 for green, but they specify on their website it's 0.254 for everything. Now, I never knew about that, and I've just been producing green anyway, and my tolerances they've always produced, and it's been fine. So I just assumed, my fault, I guess, that they could do any colour like that. I couldn't find anything. What I looked for on their website is any information that said that doing X colour is a problem on manufacturing, and I didn't see anything, right? This should have failed JLC PCB verification beforehand, and it didn't. It didn't fail. The boards were expensive. The boards were like $90 US. And they made them and shipped them. Didn't even pick it up on quality control. So it should have never gone through, right? They've identified already that it was under their measurement size. Now, I'm just going to quickly, I just want to explain, for those that don't know, for those that do, I apologise. So I just want to explain, like, you all know how reflow works, right? I hope you all know how reflow works. If I put two pads here, right? Now, we know about surface tension, that if we put paste along here, if we spread it right across these two, right? Wet paste and we reflow it, surface tension pulls the paste towards the contact pads. But it's more than that. The solder mask in the middle is a resin, and the solder paste slips off the resin. It's like a retardant, right? And so it helps pushing the paste onto the pads, right? No solder mask will end up here because of the resin. Okay, so it keeps it apart. That's what allows you to do strip soldering and then it all goes onto the pads, pulls onto the pads properly, right? So the problem with my case is because there is no solder mask in the middle, you put paste here, and the surface tension isn't enough to pull the paste apart. Solder repellent. Yes, it's like fly spray, mozzie spray. No, this isn't the first time, and for me, it's absolutely not the first time, right? And these two are pretty major, right? Because the first one was I've had other problems in the past, but my first major one was the castellation mess that they made on my nanos, and then this. This is pretty bad for me, because this should have been picked up at the start, right? Not only did I lose 10 days, so it was 5 days production and 4 days to deliver them, so 9 days I lost. And then I lost days making them, and at least $50 worth of parts. Okay, because every time I hot air a part off and put a new one on, I'm not prepared to use that hot aired part anymore. Hey Ben, you came in late, Ben. You're missing all the fun. I'm not prepared to prepared to reuse, or at least a CP2104 or a TinyPICO, a Pico D4 once I've hot aired one off, because they can easily get wrecked with hot air, right? So I've gone through about $50 worth of parts. I'll get to the JLC response in a sec. So what I did a test. I grabbed... where is it? Hang on. I thought I was prepared. This morning. You might not be able to see this. Now, I did this just with an iron. Now, to be clear, there is no solder paste between any pads, pretty much anywhere. All the 0402s, there's no solder paste between any of the pads. The 0603s, there's some solder paste. The Schottky die, there's some solder paste. But everywhere else, there's pretty much none, right? It's basically lots and lots and lots of this FR4 everywhere. Okay? So what I did was... I'm sorry I can't really get any closer. I might be able to get closer. Let me try this. This may work, but it may not. May focus, may not. Come on, focus. Yes, okay. Now what I did it by hand. You see these pads here? What I did, this is the USB pads, so there's no paste between them. So I just took some solder on my soldering iron and just moved it across those pads. And what I got was one huge blob of solder paste. And then I spent about 10 minutes with my flux and my iron, no extra paste, fluxing and stroking and fluxing and stroking. And eventually, it took me about 10 minutes to be able to separate them all and end up with 4 clean pads. Because there was no mask, right? So it was one huge bridge. Hey David, no solder mask. Right? So, what's happening is... Okay, we're out of focus again. So I'll explain what's happening with my boards, because what I did was on the boards, on these, sorry, that I was reworking, every time I pulled a chip off and I took a look at the paste underneath, there was at least 2 pads or 3 pads that were bridged, right? I'd clean them up, I'd put the chip back on. Now the problem is, you put the chip on, and then if you move it just... Okay, that picture looks big. You got to remember how small these are, right? So those gaps, they're actually slightly less than 0.2 of a millimeter. They're tiny, right? So every time I put a chip down, and then I move the chip slightly to position it, what I'm doing is I'm spreading the paste, I'm spreading the solder across the pads, and I'm re-shorting the board. I'm re-shorting the chips every time, right? Now, obviously, when you put paste down through a stencil, as the board's sitting there and you're placing parts on the board, the paste, it gets liquid, right? So it starts to spread. You know, when you see pictures of people who stencil paste and they've got these really nice little blobs everywhere, perfectly aligned blobs on the pads, right? After about 5 minutes of it sitting there while you're putting stuff on, those pillars start to blend off and spread. And that's not a problem because the surface tension in the solder paste, so the solder mask, realigns those when you reflow. But my boards can't do that. So all that happens is I end up with blobs of paste across all of the pads. Infuriating. Infuriating. Total time wasted, right? So, I've got a headache just talking about it now. I don't understand how angry I've been. I can't explain how frustrating this has been. Let me just go back to, I'm just going to go off that picture. That picture's really frustrating me. I'm just going to go back to, yeah, we can look at my TinyPICOs again. The boards make me happy because they look really good. So, hardware is hard. Hey, Emmanuel, welcome. So, here's the result. After going back and forwards with customer support, with my contact at JLC PCB, with their technical and engineering people, here's the result. JLC PCB cannot do any colour at all other than green unless the solder... Oh, right, the bridge. Hang on. I didn't talk about the bridge. This is important. This is very important. Where'd I put my... I threw my pen. See, that's how ooh, worked up I am. Here it is. Okay. So this is important. So what the bridge gap is this gap here. Right? They need the gap between the pads to be at least 0.254. Okay? That's the minimum. And that minimum means that you might get a tiny sliver of solder mask there, right, around the pad. Tiny sliver, which doesn't help me. Now my pads are 0.2 apart. Now this is where it gets funny, right? This is where it gets very funny. Well, I'll get to that in a second, Greg, right? So I physically cannot make these gaps 0.254. And even if I made these pads 0.254, that's still not enough because I'm still potentially not going to get any solder mask in the middle because that's their minimum. What it really needs to be is like 0.26, and that would give me a tiny sliver of solder mask. But what that'll also mean is that my solder mask around my pads are going to be massive, right? Which means anything that's close to the edge, like... Hang on. Where's my other picture? Like here, won't get covered. So even if I got some paste in between, I'm not going to get paste on anything that's close, right? And it's still not going to be enough. And even if I did that, right, I have to do it on all my components, which means all of my parts, like all my, these 4 resistors here, which you can almost just see, they're too close together. There's no solder mask between any of these resistors here, right? My board physically can't be... If I just open up, right? So what I need to do to make this gap here, because there's no solder bridge gap in Eagle, what there is a... it's the stop area, right? The stop says, don't put any solder mask around this area. So I've got a pad here. This is my stop gap. All I can do is play with my stop gap. Now, on my Pico... I'll show you this picture as well. Here's another one. This is an important picture, which I haven't shown yet. I'm sorry, I'm going through a lot of detail here because this is I learned a lot through this, right? This is important. Okay, so you can see over here on my CP2104, that's the stop gap around the pads. The pads are much smaller, and you see there's a tiny gap here. On the Pico D4, there is no stop gap. Right? The stop gap is the size of the pad. There's absolutely no increase in stop around the Pico. And it's still 0.2. I physically cannot get that gap any bigger unless I make the pads thinner. Now, I'd have to make the pads 30% thinner to get enough space for solder mask. But here's the kicker. You ready for this? Those pads are tiny. If I get them 30% thinner, and I make my stencil 30% thinner, and then I get registration crap like this, then my solder mask is going to be covering half my pads, and my pads are going to be so thin that I'm not going to be able to connect my chip to it. So just for full emphasis on that one. Not even on camera. Right? There is no way I would trust making those pads half as thin to get solder mask between them and then relying on the solder mask to actually be aligned properly that I can actually see my pads. Not a chance. It's not going to happen. Right? Not going to happen. So, I have no control in Eagle to calculate something this way. All I can do is calculate this gap. And even if I set it to 0 and make all of my pads on my whole board have no stop gap, which is dangerous because then potentially, if the alignment's off, I can get solder mask on top of my 0402 pads, right? Or even worse, my little tiny MOSFET and my little tiny LDO, if they cover half the pads because of the solder masks out of alignment, my board's dead anyway, right? So, what's the end result? The end result is I cannot, at least with my samples, I cannot have black. Black is gone. Black is gone. I have to do green and Enig is my only option. Black is out of the question. So there's some, and I'll continue with that in a second. There were some questions. Why the limitation? I'm not 100%, as I said, from what I can gather, it's something to do with the process of putting the solder mask on for, I don't know whether, I thought it was only some colours. They say green is the only one they can guarantee it'll work on. Something to do with how many times they have to maybe apply it, or the size of the, because I mean paint is also just lots of little tiny balls, right? Like it's liquid, but when you look at it, it's not, right? It's made up of little viscous balls attached together. It's something to do with the chemical, the paste, whatever it is, that they can't get such fine tolerance. I don't know why. I don't understand it. You keep saying paste when you mean mask, and it's getting very confusing. Sorry, David. No, I don't know. Okay. Well, I'm talking about mask and paste. But yeah, okay. Sorry. What about keeping the pads the same size but negative? You can't do a negative stop value. The only way you can do, like all in Eagle, you can't do a negative stop. You have to manually create smaller pads. But then the risk is, again, if there's a bad alignment like this, look how far the alignment's out. If there's a bad alignment like this, I'm going to lose half my pad. Now, this is not just a JLC PCB thing, by the way. PCBWay can't do black. They say they can't do black. They can only do green. I don't know about the rest of their colours. When I was getting quotes for my boards, PCBWay said, sorry, they can't give me black. They told me ahead of time my tolerances were too small. And I have a feeling that all the other quotes I got, because everyone quoted me on black with Enig, everyone just quoted me on black and no one looked at my Gerbers properly. I'm pretty convinced I'm going to have a problem no matter who I go to, right? This is not just JLC PCB. I know of other people like this, but JLC PCB let this go through. Charged me, delivered my boards, and my boards are faulty, right? That's what was frustrating with JLC. So, there's two things. The outcome with JLC PCB is they gave me my money back for my black boards, right? I'll say one thing about JLC PCB, and this is why I still like using them. I mean, I keep pushing the limits on their capabilities. I get that. I'm frustrated that they don't pick this stuff up beforehand. I would have been quite happy if they turned around to me and said, sorry, you can't have black when I submitted this, not a week or 2 weeks later. But true to their great customer support, they instantly gave me a refund for these, and they are providing me, they are rushing me, because they close in 7 days, right? There's Chinese New Year coming up. So everyone's going to be closed for 3 weeks. They are rushing me a new revision of my boards that I submitted yesterday, and we'll talk about that in a second, in green with Enig. Because green will do what I need, because I've proven it with every version, and they've confirmed green is fine, and Enig. and I have to do ENIG because I need to build all my samples. My samples have to go out for crowd supply for them to send to people, and I'm not sending them hassle. I'm not sending them leaded ones. So they did step up. They have refunded, and they're providing me these boards for free. I didn't get my money back for shipping on these, right? So I'm out of pocket $30 US on shipping. But I got my board cost back, and these are coming free, which negates my shipping. So they do have fantastic customer service. I will say that without a doubt. Best customer service I've had from any company in China. It's just unfortunate that their processes, and to be like, I'm not making excuses for them. I'm really not. But they produce thousands of boards a day, right? I mean, they've got, I don't know how many dozens and dozens of engineers sitting there checking files every 10, 20 minutes, going through whatever else. This went through the loop, right? It didn't get caught. It didn't get caught on either end, the quality control or the engineering pre-validation check. It should have been, without a doubt. And they admit that. So it's frustrating that it wasn't. Anyway, so I'm not going to stop using them. I just have to be really, really careful. A paint expert would be able to verify if it relates to particle size. Yeah, like that's all I can think it is, Ian. Hi, Ian, by the way. I don't know what else it could be. I noticed in your last vid you don't press the paste very firmly onto the stencil. It leaves a flood of paste over the stencil, getting much thicker layer of paste in the stencil. I do put a bit of pressure on when I'm pasting, Chris. It might not look like it. And look, I've been trying different techniques. I used to paste quite quickly and firmly. Now I'm trying to do it a bit slower. Yeah, it's I don't know. The other issue I've got is I don't have a manufacturing date on these. Whoops. So it's got a lot number, but I can't understand what the date is on that. I don't even know if this paste is really any good. Hey, Julian. It reflows fine, and the only thing I really know about paste and my research is that when paste starts going bad, it starts getting hard or it loses its wetness. And I figure while paste is still wet, it should be okay. I don't know. I could be having a problem with my paste. That's why I bought this new paste. But of course I don't have it yet, and I can't try. The last video, super thick paste. I'd have to look at the video and the paste again. I don't know. There's no manufacturing date on this. This is from eBay. Yeah, there's no manufacturing date. So yeah, that's why I've got my new paste coming. Now, the plus side maybe is that the question I have is, I'm pretty sure that this right now is only really a problem because I'm hand placing all the components. And when I place a component down and then I shift it in place and move it and align it, because I can't, it's very hard to get it perfect every time, I'm smearing the paste along, right? And then on top of that, I'm hand applying the paste. The alignment could be slightly out and it could be a crap quality paste, and a lot of combinations could be causing this to be a problem. Now, on a production line, when it's machine applying paste and it's machine placing parts where there's no shift, March 2008, you think this means March 2008? I don't think so. It's got a paste has maximum 1 year shelf life. Where do you get 2008? You reckon that's... But what's the extra 0 for? If that's... Even if it's 02, 00, 04, 08, 08, or 08 which way? So if I look at this one, that's quite clear. That's 17th of the 10th, 06. Okay? Oh, sorry, try that again. So, the 6th of the 10th, 2017. So that one's out. I know it's out, right? From the MFG date. Where's MFG? Oh, right. You reckon that's March 2008? No. This was bought this year, last year, end of last year. I don't think that's... Paste doesn't last that long. Okay, well if you all read that as I didn't think it could possibly be, because paste doesn't last that long. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's day and month. If that's a year, that's terrible. Oh, eBay. It's cheap stuff from eBay. Anyway, from now on, I'm only using this other... Yeah, I think it's 3rd of August, personally. I do. I just don't know what year. And it reflows fine. And there's no way that would reflow fine if... There's no way this would reflow fine if this was 8 years old. I wouldn't be able to get it out of the tube. It'd be completely hard and solid. Okay? Yeah. But that could be 2017. You know what I mean? I wouldn't guarantee it's 18, although maybe that 18 there, maybe, lot number, it's possible. I don't know. Surely it would last if it was sealed. No. So paste, even in the fridge, has only got a shelf life of a year. If you look at pretty much every data sheet for every paste, except industrial type stuff, well, no, that's still only got a year. How would it expire if it's unused? It just solidifies. It's only got a certain amount of life. The wetness just evaporates, even in the fridge. Look at all data sheets. It all says it's got it. It tells you how long it lasts. It tells you how long it lasts for refrigerated and unrefrigerated. Obviously, cheap stuff like that comes with no data sheet, right? But if we go look at this chip, okay, I'm not going to look at it online now. I've got other stuff to do. But if you look at the Chip Quick data sheet, it'll tell you straight up, right, that it'll out of the fridge it'll last X amount of time. In the fridge it'll last you X amount of time, and that's it. There you go, Julian's saying it. The alcohol evaporates. So, anyway, so I have new boards coming. Now, you wouldn't think it, but there's some silver lining. There is some silver lining here. Well, potentially. Hang on, my coffee's cold. I need to have some coffee. I think I bought it after. I think I bought it before August. I'm pretty sure I bought it before August. August, September, October. No, I might have bought it September. I doubt very much that it was brand new paste when I bought it. That it had just been. So to give you an example, my the paste I just bought right now was manufactured September 2018. So I've already lost 4 months out of it, which is ridiculous. I know. I just paid full price for a 500 gram jar of paste, and it was $150, right? And I've already lost 4 months out of it. But at this point in time, I'm sick of getting failed boards. I'm sick of second guessing my paste, and I'm sick of, there's only so much patience I can have myself when I'm building these little tiny things where I'm second guessing too many steps of the process. So I bought myself some really good paste, right? And if I only get 8 months or 7 months of use out of it, I don't care right now, even for that price point. I want to eliminate one of my steps. And paste is an important one because, like, I can see with this paste when I'm using it that it doesn't stand up straight for long enough. It starts to warp, I think, much sooner than it should be, right? So, what have I missed in the thing? Someone mentioned something about T4. What did I miss? Who mentioned T4? I saw it go past. Hassle lining. What's hassle lining? What? So it was made in the future. What was made in the... Oh, when I bought my other... Yeah, I don't know. It came from China. Who knows what it is? Let's just go back to the computer. What did I miss? Hey, David. Oh, what did you miss? Dude, you're going to have to go back and watch. It was pretty intense. It was pretty intense. Someone mentioned something about T4. please ask again. I must have missed it. Yeah, Greg, it was cheap on eBay, yes, but there's no way it's 2008. There's no way Pacer can survive that long. I don't think, anyway. Anyway, if someone wants to mention that the T4 question again, but my new Pacer is T4. So, ready for this next step. So because I had to get new boards made, I had to provide new Gerbers because I needed to make another silk change, right? I can't get any closer. Rob's going, hey Rob. Now back to the silver lining. So, I had to make a silk change, and the reason I had to make a silk change, I don't know if everyone's seen this. Let me see if I can, let me share this. Bear with me a second. So one of the things I've been working on for Crowd Supply... Oh, do I not have it here? No. Where'd I put it? Oh, right. Is this. So one of the things that's going to be that I need for the Crowd Supply campaign, and it's going to ship inside the pack, is I've been working on design layouts and pin layouts. The pin layout's probably the better one. Oops. Here's my pin layout. So I've been working on all the documentation. Hey Roger, I'm using Pace at a 3 to 4 year with no problem at all. Really? Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I'm using over... Look, as I said, my quick chip that I used is out of date, right? It's out of date by half a year, by 6 months. Oh, sorry, I'm talking about chip. It's out of date by 6 months, and yet I reflowed with it and it was perfectly fine. As I said, as long as it's wet, it's okay. I see your sun is shining. What? Whose sun is shining? What's happening? Is this a song? Yeah. I'm lost, Julian. You talking about outside there? I think it's just the camera contrast. It's quite dull and dreary, and the sky is grey. It's going to be a bad day today. Silver solder. Ooh, that'd be good. It's a song. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's what I figured. Okay, anyway, back to the pinout. So I've been working on these sheets, right? And of course they're nice and black with gold, and they're not going to be black and gold anymore. But something that occurred to me, temperature's a factor, and for you, that is hot at the moment. Reweed. Totally dry paste. I don't know what weeding it means. Hang on, wow. Need to remove all file sources. Mail them. Yeah, in my case, I need to remove a potential fail source. I don't want to question my paste every time I do it. And there's another thing I'll talk about the paste in a second, which is important for me because I'm using low temp paste. But anyway, back to just quickly for the typo re-wet. Right. Chat's going everywhere. I've got so many pings of unexpected maker in this list, so I keep looking over. So one of the things that I realized was when let me just go to this one, that my boards actually, see the ground and the battery label here on the bottom? They're actually upside down on my board. Because originally my boards were designed to be held up right this way, where the USB was on the top. But then when I made the silk is then upside down. So the silk's this way. So if I want to line both boards next to each other, I realized that the labels on the front, on the left, were upside down, right? No big deal. So I turned them around. It was just a silk change. So I had to submit new boards anyway. And I thought to myself, you know what? There's been something that's bothering me about this design for a long time, and I want to fix it. So I've made another revision. Revision 9, folks. But it's a good revision. You need assistance for screening, reading the chat. Well, sometimes the chat goes slow, but it's been going quick today, but there's a lot of pinging me. A lot more than usual. Let me guess, a new revision. Yes, I made a new revision, but it's a really... assuming the change works, because it's untested, because I couldn't test it on my blackboards, and I had to get the order had to go into JLC PCB yesterday, without a doubt, and I couldn't. I made a board to test it on, but I couldn't do it in time. Altium, who's using no? What? Hey? So, ready? This is the change I made. It's a pretty cool one. Oh, why does that not come up? I'll show you the board first. I've added 2 new components. There's a resistor, and finally I found, this is the same footprint as my MOSFET. I found an NPN transistor. Look at the size of it. It's like my MOSFET over here. This little MOSFET I use on my board. I have done this. I hope it's going to work. I hated the solder bridge I had on the bottom of the board. This is number 9. Well, technically it's number 8 because I skipped 7. There was no revision 7. That was called revision X. But it's going to be called number 9 on the bottom. So what I've done is I go to the solder pad, and I'm now driving the power, or in this case the ground, from a transistor from IO2. IO2 is not exposed on the board anywhere because it's a strapping pin, and it must be kept low to program the board. And I've done my best. Like, I could have broken out more pins on this board, and on a reference board, that's fine. But in my case, I didn't want to expose any strapping pins anywhere. Well, number 5 is technically a strapping pin, but it's a not important one. So I never exposed 2. But the nice thing with IO2 is it's got to be kept low at the start, which is perfect for me. And then once the board boots, its program, once it boots, it can be used as a general purpose IO. So the idea is that now a user can set IO2 high or low to turn power on and off on the APA 102. Rather than having to do this nasty solder bridge to disable it or enable it. So right now my solution, well, this is workable, it's just not nice. I always felt it was a bit nasty. But I have a space problem. I have a space problem on this board. Yeah? I mean, if you think about what I've just done, I haven't moved anything else around, and I've just added extra components just in here. Okay? I mean, this resistor is an 0402 resistor. Look at the size of it. Okay, we're talking about rereading stuff. So the GPIO2 has an internal pull down, which is used to control it on boot. So I don't have to, so it's fine. I'm not pulling it up, I'm not pulling it down, I'm letting the internal pull up. Sorry, I'm letting the internal pull down, do what it needs to do, and then post that, so that this pin's not exposed, so the user can't do anything to it, right? It's only being used to drive this, and all it means is when the board boots, the APA 102 will have no power to it. And then once the board's booted, then technically you can turn that pin on, you can set it high, and it'll power the APA. This is what I'm hoping. Right. Now, the question was, why didn't I use my MOSFET? I didn't use my MOSFET because I don't want to use I don't want to use a FET to do this. Right? So the problem with a FET is I then have to worry about the voltage difference between the source and the I can't remember, and the gate. Right? I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to, in this case the transistor, like I get that for power you use a MOSFET, but in this case the maximum the APA is going to pull is about 60 milliamps. I think maybe even 100. If you're approving me, Julian, thank you. If you're talking to someone else, then okay. Oh, and John said also great improvement. Yes, it's a great improvement. And the most that the I/O can actually deliver, some people say it's 20 milliamps, but it's actually officially 12 milliamps is really all the I/O. Like some people have pulled more. So in the case of a transistor, it's perfect, right? I don't have to worry about high power. I don't have to worry about high current because it's not a high current device. And with a MOSFET, I have to have biasing resistors, and technically I need 2. I can get away with 1. I'm hoping, even though that's not 10K, by the way, I just didn't change this. I should change that, shouldn't I? That's actually, for the moment, it's going to be 0. And I'll tell you why. So I'm pretty sure that I don't need this resistor. Wow, I can't believe this whole time I've been pointing at the screen and I didn't notice. Right, so the MOSFETs I've got right now aren't switching. The MOSFETs I've got on these packages right now are not switching. They're not level shifting MOSFETs, they're power MOSFETs. I don't have any level shifting MOSFETs in this package, right? So that was another reason as well. I'm not using what I've currently got, but I was much more comfortable using a transistor for this. Nit showing screen. Thank you. Well, I'm showing it now. Right. I'm pretty sure that I do not need this resistor on the base. I'm 99.9% sure I don't need it, but I was not prepared to make the board without it in case I had a problem. Timing. Cheers to the timing, Rob. So what I've done is I've put the resistor on. MOSFET is much, you can just use them in different operating regions. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure that, because some of them are faster timing, some of them are less. But I do need it. No, well, I don't know if I do need it. I'm going to call you Shaq, because I do not know how to pronounce your name, Shaq. I am sorry. So, exactly, John, that's what I've done. I've got some 0 ohm resistors, 0402 resistors on the way. I don't have any here, but I've ordered some from RS. And for now, on these boards, I'm going to try it with 0 ohm. And if it works, then for production, I'll get rid of this resistor. If it doesn't work, if there's a problem with the... because it's basically, the resistor on the base is really just designed to not let the transistor oversaturate. But the transistor I've got is rated for massively higher than anything I'm going to be putting through it. I don't believe to limit the base current, otherwise it behaves like a diode to ground. Right, except the maximum, but that's only based on what's being pulled through the transistor, from my understanding. I could be totally wrong. But if I've got minimal current being pulled, well, in this case, let's call it 60 milliamps. If I've only got 60 milliamps coming through here, and the I/O is only rated for 12 to 20, then maybe I don't need it. But I know everyone's saying no. That's the reason I left it there. I've got the resistor there, so I can stick a resistor on. Don't panic, anyone. Right? I said I was 99.9% sure, but clearly I've stuck a resistor there anyway, so I can put the resistor. Does the pad for the resistor mess with the silk? It does a little bit, yes. Burnout. Right, if it oversaturates the transistor. I agree with what everyone's saying. I agree, but anyway, everyone's freaking out. Base current influences the collector current, not vice versa. Right, because there's an amplification, but the amount of current that can come off the I/O is capped. It's not endless current. It's not a power source coming to this thing, it's a GPIO going to it. So in a normal case, if there was just 3.3 volts or 5 volts connected to the base, coming from USB, then it's just going to pull as much power as it wants. I understand that. I understand. Which is why there's a resistor there. But I don't believe that's going to be the case because it's coming off the I/O, but I could be totally wrong. I could be totally wrong. Redrock.com, I don't know what that is. Anyway. Thanks, Brian. If I was 100% confident, I wouldn't have put the resistor there. But we'll see. It's really simple. I'll stick a 0 ohm resistor and it'll either blow the transistor or it won't. And the easiest way to tell is I'll probe it. Okay, I'm happy to be wrong. No problems being wrong. I'll temp probe the transistor and I'll see how hot it gets, because that's going to be the measure, right? It's going to get super hot if it's pulling too much current. It'll blow the I/O before it blows the chip, but yeah, okay, it's experimenting. But as I said, that's why I've stuck a resistor there. Is 0 current limited? Okay, right. So I might pull more than 12 milliamps from the Pico, and clearly if I pull 60, it's not going to like it. So there's a pad there for the resistor. As I said, I'm going to try it. Right? It's not like I've built the board without it, confident that I don't need the resistor, and I then blow up some stuff and have to reorder boards. I've ordered boards with the resistor. So everyone calm down. I've ordered boards with the resistor, and I'm prepared to experiment. Right? It's an experiment, like everything that I do. I don't have a thermal camo, but I've got probes. Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway, that aside, it's very simple. I've got lots of different values of 0402 resistors. I don't have 0. I've ordered some 0. Either way, I can try it. If I need any value resistor there, I don't need a lot, right? I just need a very small value. Whatever it takes, I will have my boards. Hopefully next week, well, not hopefully, they absolutely promised, guaranteed me that I'll get it before they shut down. Because if I don't, I'm screwed. Right? Because then I've got no boards to make. But it's it's a lesson learned. If I blow a chip, I blow a chip. You understand how many chips I waste, right? Because I'm terrible at wastage. Like, So what's the worst? The worst case scenario is I build a board and I blow a Pico, and I learn, and I never make that assumption ever again, right? That's the worst. That's my worst case. That's not such a bad thing, right? And I'll never ever make it. They promised me 100% that I'm going to get it before they shut down. Yeah, good luck getting any PCBs now, Brian. They're every man and their dog has ordered PCBs before the shutdown. Yep, better safe than sorry. That's why I left the resistor there. Hey, Station 240. Nah, sometimes I learn from other people's mistakes, and sometimes I need to learn from my own mistakes. So I truly understand what it is. That's okay. I know how I learn. That's okay. You can be upset with me if you want to, but that's how I learn. Yeah. Anyway, so what's great is I have a new revision coming. It's green and Enig, which isn't really what I wanted, but green and Enig looks great. Hang on. those that want to see, wow, I've been going an hour. I mean, this is green and Enig. This is the tiny FPGA. It looks nice. Like, if my worst case scenario is I ship green and Enig and that's my production boards, so be it. Hey, Mike. Hey, Marcos. For that kind of tests exists the proto board. Right, except it doesn't. I'll tell you why. Right, so my plan was to test this before I went in production, but I had to use a different transistor, right? And transistors work the same, but two different transistors are not the same exact test. So I was going to build this. I was going to get one of because the only transistors I've got here, NPN transistors, are MMBT2222s. I was going to wire wrap an MMBT2222 to the back of the power here, cut a bridge, wire it to ground, wire it to another I/O, and test it out without a resistor. But let's say it worked. Just for argument's sake, let's say it worked. That doesn't guarantee it's going to work with this new transistor, because the new transistor, it's a different transistor, right? Now it would have been, so the transistor I'm using is actually a BC847, but it's in the SOT 883 package. So it's in this crazy little package. Now, if I would have had because you can get them in different packages, if I would have had a BC847 here that was in like a SOT 23 package, I would have been much more comfortable trying it, wire wrapping this board and trying it, right? That's why you should have reused the MOSFET. Nah. Hey, Chris. No, I'm happy using the transistor. It's yeah, anyway. What was I going to say? But anyway, but ultimately I didn't have time. The boards had to go in yesterday. As it happened, I submitted them 3 hours later than they requested, and it was getting close, and I didn't want to risk not getting them in time. What's new, Sion? Hey, Chris. What's new? We've been talking about my boards, and I just showed everyone the transistor thing, and I got a thrashing. I got a thrashing about the resistor, about my idea of having no resistor or zero. Yeah, that was fun. Hey, the Tinker Dad, welcome. Yeah, look, the green looks okay. It doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look as nice as the black. There's just something professional looking about the black. Right, now, I forgot something I was talking about before as well. Another reason I got this new paste, an important reason. So, I'm not sure if many of you are aware, but low temp solder paste notoriously loses its shine. Now, you might not, you can't really tell. Can't see, very hard. Let me see if I can focus a bit closer. So, I'm not sure if you can see, but if you see the resistors along here, you see the grey, so you can see the black in the middle, and you can see the silver on each side of the resistor. You see the solder down the sides, you see how it's gone a yuck colour, right? So, and then if I just put this next to it, if you look at the solder on this, you might be able to see the solder on the sides of these components. Okay, look at the SOT 23 here, you see how the pads are silver? Look at the SOT 23 here, you see how the pads are dark, like they're grey, they're not silver? More light. I don't know if I can go any more light. Hang on. I'll try. Oh, yeah, wow. How's that? Okay, so low temp solder paste loses its sheen. It looks quite ugly. Black is stealthy, don't drop it on the floor, you'll never see it again. I don't know, I think that the gold makes it visible. So that's another thing I've never liked about low temp solder paste, and it's fine for most things. I need to get the microscope up and running. I've ordered a HDMI to HDMI converter that may solve my problems with my microscope. I don't know. It's coming from eBay. It's coming from Australia, but it's like a 5-day delivery. I don't know when I'm getting it. I'm trying to solve the microscope thing, but I haven't been able to yet. So I hate the look of the solder paste on here. There's nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't look very nice. Not for a finished board anyway. So this new paste I've got is a super shiny. It's a special. It's production. It's designed for a production line, not for hobby use really. So that's another reason why I want to try this other paste as well, so I don't get these dark yuck looking solder pads. There's nothing wrong with them. That's just what happens. So, okay. No one's asked me the other question yet, though. Who's going to ask me the other question? That your copyright year on the schematic is 2015. Yeah. I mean, at least I updated the revision number. So the reason that is because some of these things aren't updating. So like, see title? Now if I go here... Oh, God, what am I doing? Again, I'm doing it. Right, try that again. So at least I've updated the revision number. But if you go to here, it's really weird. It's something to do with this thing. I've set a title, but it doesn't work. See, there's no title in here. See, it says it's not saved, but it is saved. I don't know how to do copyright date. Yeah, anyway. Some of these things just don't work. It's very annoying. What? Brian's going. Okay, see you, Brian. Thanks for joining, mate. It's picked up the donor board for a MacBook Pro 2016. Oh no, yeah, you buy secondhand boards, hoping that the parts you need to run them, and they're not there. That's not good. So no one's mentioned my RF yet. Anyone want to mention my RF? Anyone want to talk about that? No? It's the other question, how you celebrate your first year YouTube anniversary. My first year's long gone, dude. Long gone. But thank you. RF is done, but no one's seen a board yet. Did you order gold plate? Yes, my new green boards are ENIG. I have to do ENIG. I'm not providing hassle. And I don't want to do lead-free hassle. So yeah, my new boards that are coming are green and gold. This is exciting. It is exciting. Yes, my RF is done, but no one's seen a board yet that's got my new... This got my new RF on it. These ones. But I can't use them. Sounds like a hassle. This board has my new RF on it, and this board works. And guess what? RF is ace. Except my new change, my new revision could affect the RF a little bit. Hey Ken, welcome. So yeah, green and gold Aussie colours. I'd rather black still. Sorry, black just looks. It does. I'm never going to. Oh, why are we not in focus? I'm never going to be happy that I can't do black. Black just looks professional. I don't know why. But green's fine. No, it's not easy being green. Yeah, black solder resist. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? So, RF on this works great, by the way. Really, really good. Very happy with the results on that. I think it's time to work on my test jig. I'm going to learn about that, having to buy the boards in 3 separate pieces. Yeah, the Def Pom also has, he buys a lot of boards. And you can still do black, just not with JLC. Well, unknown. That's totally unknown right now, John, because I'm not convinced... Oops. Why does my camera keep losing focus? I'm not convinced that I'm not going to have the same problem with other manufacturers. The only flip side is that, as I said before, is that if it's going through a production line without any manual work, then even if there is an issue with the solder paste not protecting the pads, the fact that it's being professionally pasted and pick and placed could make the board still work, right? How much better? Ballpark? Pretty big. So you know that the difference is logarithmic, right? I'm not going to pull my pad out again. Not right now. 10 equals green with gold. One of it's the same resolution. Most of the stuff's green with gold. As I said, like the Tiny FBX is green with gold. Green's, yeah. Just green's pretty commoditized, right? Like it's pretty standard. I just really like black. I've done black with dirty PCB and has sold masks between QFN. Okay, what pitch QFN though? And I believe you. I totally believe you. There are some companies that can do it. It depends on the price, right? And price is a big factor. So like one of the companies that quoted me that might be able to do it, their PCB price was 3 times the price of anyone else. So, you know, like at the end of the day, if my choice is, you know, go green where my PCBs are costing me, just throwing numbers out, costing me 70 cents a PCB, or go black and my PCBs are costing me $3 a PCB, I can't afford to go $3 a PCB just to get black. It's just my you know, as much as I want to, you know, get these out to everyone and everyone enjoy them, I'm not going to lose money on them. Come on, tell me what the max clock is. I don't know. I haven't used my Tiny FPGA yet. So I haven't even plugged it in. I haven't even done anything with it yet because I've been super busy. So I don't have the answer for that. You have to look that up on the Google. Google will tell you. It's a PCB manufacturing limitation. You know, maybe they can do better. Maybe they're, you know, if they've got a, you know, maybe because they're JLC and PCBWay and other people are just running the same stuff on the same machines, maybe they haven't tightened the tolerances in. Maybe they can. Maybe if they had a dedicated production line just for black, maybe they can do better tolerances. I don't know. I know nothing about the FPGA. Go to Google, mate. Sorry, Shaq. I don't know. I have not used it. Have not plugged it in. It's been sitting here for too long. I'll get to FPGA one day. So yeah, I know it's possible to do black, but maybe not possible at the price range I need. You've seen it peeling. Interesting. If you're putting it in a box at the end of the day, does it matter what color? Right, it doesn't matter what color if it's going inside a box or if it's not seen. Absolutely. But still, I don't know, you know? It's my baby. My vision for it always was going to be black and gold. It's just, you know, I've had it in my head for that way. The FPGA is not my design. No, go look up Tiny FPGA online. Not mine. This is mine. So, right. So, RF. It's not going to be a good comparison, but let's have a look. Let's see if I can do this live. Just to show you. Do you have a USB ID or how are you handling it? I do not have a custom USB ID, but because they're not commercial, or they're not. Anyway, so to let you know about USB IDs, you can get free. Like USB IDs are really expensive, but you can get free ones. There's an open source. How do I put it? It's not open source. I'll have to find it. There's there's 2 parts to the ID. There's the vendor owner, and then there's the ID. There's 2 IDs. God, I don't know the exact terms for these, so I'm gonna just. I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth. Anyway, so you can. There's ways of getting free IDs where the vendor is it's a catch-all, so everyone has the same vendor, and it's an open source vendor, but everyone has unique IDs. But what that means is that if it's going through a vendor like that, like right now, if I plug a feather board in, it detects it as an Adafruit feather because of the vendor ID. They're organised that give away unused IDs for free. That's right. So, but the ID is not. It's still under their vendor name. So they give you an ID. So let's say that there's an Acme company out there, and yeah, Vid and Thank you, Michael. Yes, sorry, I couldn't remember the names. So there's a vendor ID and there's the PID. So if the vendor ID is owned by Acme and the PID, they give me one of theirs for free, that's great. So when I plug it in, the PID is mine, but it says that it's an Acme board. Does that make sense? So the only way I can get it to say this is an unexpected maker board is if I buy a vendor license, which is quite expensive. And technically it's not really needed. I don't have to have a custom ID. Not for these, not for hobby boards. I don't need to. If for anything production, like I'm using the word production loosely. If it was on a commercial product going out with onboard USB, then I'd need I'm supposed to have my own vendor ID and device ID. Yes, James, they are replacing them. My 2016 is going to go for a replacement next week to get my keyboard fixed because my keyboard's obviously screwed up. It shows up as slab. Yep. Anyway, so this is my old Pico. Old meaning they're both RevX, right? But this one is my old RF. It's also got header pins, which is going to affect the RF a little bit. I'm going to try to align this in the middle. I'm going to see if I can do a... Yes, the cost of vendor IDs is super expensive, which is why I'm not doing it. I'm going to try to place this, right? And let's have a look at the results. Just bear with me a second. I'm trying to find it. Blink, blink, blink. It's not the right one. So I'm just loading a sketch. Just hold on a second. Example, no examples. Recent. Pico display. No, can't find it. One moment, please. Just talk amongst yourselves just for 1 second while I load my Wi-Fi code, my test code. Pico Wi-Fi scan .star. So this is a very unscientific test, okay? Let me just switch to my desktop. So how about this? Here we go. Let me just start this again. I'm just going to reset it. Okay, so I did a reset. It's booting. So this is showing worst and best. So it's picking up two networks. It's picking up my one inside the office and one inside the house. So the one inside the office is the top one. The one inside the house is the bottom one, right? So it's showing me my best, my worst, and my reading and my average. Okay? So the best this is picking up right now is negative 64. Right? This is the RSSI. Okay, I might just go for a little bit longer just to see. Now obviously it's totally dependent on where the board is sitting, how far off the bench it is, and orientation and everything else. But I'm trying to do a like-for-like comparison, right? So that's negative 64 is the best that this one's doing. Yep. Okay. Now I'm just going to swap back here. Actually, can I do both at the same time? Right, I'll try to... It's not right in camera. I'm going to unplug this. I'm going to try to get this board in the same position. The reason I'm going to use the blue tack is to raise it up, because obviously the closer it is to the... Whoops. The closer it is to the table... Let me see if I can move this down. Can't really. No, it's going to move the camera. It's going to be slightly off. The closer it is to the table, the worse it's going to be. So by putting the blue tack here, I get it roughly where the other one was. It's not quite as high, and the orientation might change. I'll do the best I can, right? If I put it there, and I need to flash it because it's running different code. So Wi-Fi scan .star. It's just compiling. Oh, cold coffee. Okay. Flashing. Oh, compiling. Flashing. Okay. And this one, negative 51. So, there's a negative 11 difference. In this particular case, right? Now, negative 11 doesn't sound like a lot, but it's logarithmic. The component values. So which components and where they're placed. So this guy did matching. And if you look here, I was getting negative 93 for the one in the house, and now I'm getting negative 81. Or negative 79, look at that. So it's quite a significant difference. So because the change is logarithmic, that negative 11 might only look like 20%, you know, 60 to 50, but it's actually much more than that. So that's a pretty big improvement. And when I was in my house playing with this board yesterday, I was seeing negative 40 and negative 39 to my router inside, and my Mac was getting negative 55. So this was performing an order of magnitude, not an order of magnitude, I shouldn't use that term. It was performing a large value better than my Mac was. And they were sitting next to each other pretty much. So yeah, this is a pretty big difference. So I'm very happy with the results from that. Doesn't stop the chip from getting hot though. Let me tell you, wow. So there we go. There's great result. I'm happy with it. Very happy with the RF change. I'm glad I did it. Okay, I really need to build one of these and test it. I have not built one yet. I was waiting for the stream. Here's my pack of them. I've got 10 of them. Why did I get 10? Well, I might need multiple. I probably don't need 10, but I got 10 because it's going to make it easier for me to stack them to put the pogo pins in. Anyway, and 10 was the same price as 5, and you never know. But we have a problem, Houston. It's going to, well, I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I have a position problem, which it's going to be interesting. I don't know how I'm going to solve it yet. To get how much of a change? Only one of the components I used previously, it's still being used, it's in a different position. So it was it was 1.5 picofarad, 1.25 picofarad, and no, 1.5 picofarad and 1.8 nanohenry. That's what it was. It is now, I've got to remember, if 0.75 picofarad, 1.5 picofarad, and what is it? Can't remember. Does this tell me? I need to. Let's see if I can find the value. It's an inductor. 1 second. I'll see if I can find the value for you. I don't. Did I update the schematic? I might not have. Probably not yet, because I wanted to test it first. Yeah, no, not yet. Okay, that's fine. The value is One moment, please. Wow. Right. 7.5 nanohenry. It's a quite significant difference. Right? I mean, there's no way. Firstly, I didn't even have any of these, that component. But there's no way I could have ever worked this out myself just by guessing, right? The poor guy had a real trouble doing it as well, because every time he had to do it, he had to take off the antenna, swap the parts, put the antenna back on, take off the antenna, swap the parts, put the antenna back on. He actually, which is totally fine, destroyed 2 boards doing it without the picos on them, because the pico wasn't needed. He had it obviously wired to the NLA pin. So yeah, he actually sent me a few. Like he got it pretty good, and it was only using 2 components. And then he decided he wanted to try again the following day, and did it again and got it even closer. So I'm channeling Big Clive. What have I done? So that's what it ended up being. It's pretty good. So, okay, so what's the problem with my board? Well, I'll show you. Let me just bring some of this in. Okay. So the screen goes here, and the pico goes here. And I thought I left enough room, but I forgot how far this sticks out past the pins. So if I put this here, if I just plug that in right now, just so you can see where that's sitting, and I grab this screen, I've got more of these, but they're in a bag still, I haven't opened it. You keep saying one moment, right. So the screen is sitting pretty much right on top of the antenna. Now this can be solved a couple of ways on this board for now anyway. I can make the screen sit really high with some headers, or more likely the other way around. I was going to put a header here to put the screen in, so I don't have to, it's like a millimeter out. Or I could just solder the screen directly in and not use a header, so it's permanent, right? And then the pogo pins should be enough to make the board sit up. Now you've got to remember, I'm not testing Wi-Fi strength, so like it doesn't matter if there's going to be interference with the antenna. That's okay. I'm going to be checking Wi-Fi, but it doesn't have to be good Wi-Fi, it just needs to be Wi-Fi, right? It needs to be able to detect an AP and vice versa. So I'm going to have pogo pins here anyway, so technically that's going to be sitting higher. So it just means that I'm going to have to hand solder the screen on, which I didn't particularly want to do, but I've bought a whole bunch of screens anyway. So it's definitely usable. It's not the end of the world. It was a tiny little mistake. I'm about a mil off, and I remember I changed this. I moved this over, I think about 10 minutes before I got the boards made. I moved it over a little bit because I was worried about it being too close to the button. Right, because it was going to be raised, I didn't want people to have problems hitting the button. So that's why I moved it. So it's going to work. It's just, yeah, a little bit annoying. Now the reason I had to build this yesterday was for this, because I can't test pogo pins with this one. My plan was to use one of these, but I can't because they don't work. I can check power with them, but I can't flash them. Hey Paul, can you bend the legs in a staggered 90 degree manner on the display? Ooh, what do you mean? Oh, to get it over? Ooh, maybe. I wouldn't want to risk breaking them. It's not the end of the world. It just means I have to solder the screen on. That's all. It just means that I'll have to solder it off if the board doesn't work for whatever reason. I don't even know if the board's going to work. See you, Chris. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it because I know that you're super tired because you're working. So thanks for sticking by. Okay, so I'm going to build one of these now. So what do I need? I need a button. And I need another button, which is for there. I need well, obviously the screen goes there. I need a RGB LED that goes there. I need some resistors. I need a JST connector, which goes up here. So I'm going to hand solder all these on. No reflow. I didn't make a stencil because this is all hand solderable. I need to put some resistors on around there. And then what I did is I bought some stuff from Adafruit. I had a package coming anyway. I've got some goodies from Adafruit to show another day, not today. But they have these really cool headers. So I wanted this to sit quite high here because I didn't want any of this to interfere with any of the metal. And the board overlaps, right? So, well, that's the wrong way around. Sorry, overlaps. I haven't pulled any of this apart yet. Haven't even turned this on for ages. So what I did, Adafruit got the extra long headers. It's just a normal height header and then these doubled up pins. So it means that when I attach this here, plus the height of the plastic on the bottom of the other one, it's going to be sitting quite tall. And then what they've also got is a whole bunch of standoffs. Packs of standoffs. So they've got short ones and long ones. And I got myself a bunch of... It's not out of focus again. I think it's just the light. I got myself... Also, if you've got the PCB manufacturer, sleep on it rule. No, I had slept on it. I procrastinated for ages before I put this into production. Ages. Like a week. And then I finally put it in production, but I made one change beforehand. So yes, you're right. I did forget about that rule. But I really thought it was... Anyway, it was minor. Anyway, these are super long ones. So... And I know, Adafruit, expensive. I could have got them cheaper, but I got these quickly, and that's all that matters. So these are the standoffs I'm going to use. And if you look at this... Actually, I'll put it over here, just to show. They are, when you add the plastic from the other bit on the other one, they are the exact height. And that's how far they're going to stand off. And I'm hoping this is enough. It might not be though, and that'll be frustrating. But I think it is. So if I do this, right, that's the same height plus the extra give. I'm going to have I should have about 2 mil spare. So yes. That's why I got them from Adafruit. Okay, let's put one of these, let's put this together. Let's just do it. I've got my iron, turn it on. I've been procrastinating about this long enough. I don't know what particular order I'm going to do this. I should do the surface mount first. Just it'll be easier, I think. What do I need? I saw those headers. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to bring my schematic up over here just to make sure I put the right things on the right places. Okay. Cool. So, let's do this. I've actually labelled them all properly. So you can see. So they're all labelled properly, but I have a feeling that I need to not do the... I'm not going to put the resistor on the 10K on the reset line. I think that might be a problem. So I'm going to leave that one off. And that is this bottom one here. So I need a 10K, 2, 3 10Ks, 4... 5. I need 5 10Ks. Now they're all 0805 on purpose. There's no point putting smaller parts on these boards, and I want to hand solder them. So, do I have an open one? Not that I can find. Okay, well, I do. Okay, cool. So I need where's my tweezers? So how many I said? 5. I'll put them next to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's start with those. Oh, my coffee. Terrible. I'm extremely nervous about whether this is going to work or not, but especially because I can't get them replaced quickly because of the Chinese New Year, which is a bummer. But now that I don't even have new boards yet to make samples and everything's been delayed now for crowd supply, obviously, which means, yeah, it means I've got time to get this jig working. Technically, the jig doesn't have to be finished. 7 10Ks. I'm leaving one off here, so 1. Oh yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, you're right. Okay, I'll get some more in a second. Thanks, David. Wow, not nervous at all. Wait, let's just give it a clean. Let's do this. Come on. Can I get closer? I want to get nice and close. That's as close as I can get. Okay, well. Can't believe I'm hand soldering these. God, it's a nice blob of solder there. Terrible. Right, I should just do all the pads first, shouldn't I? So I need that one. I'll do 2, 3, 4. These 2 up top for the I2C. Actually, I might as well just do all the pads while I'm at it. Silly to go back and do it again. Okay, is that all of them? I'm not doing the 10k at the bottom. Year of the pig. Oink oink. Yes, it is Year of the pig. Okay, that's all of those. So let's put these on. What was I saying? I don't know. They're all now rotated. They're all rotated. Okay, so come on. I don't know why I'm not using my turntable. I should use my turntable, shouldn't I? Wow, that's not on very straight, is it? Wow, good enough. I'll fix that solder in a minute. I was born in the year of the pig. Were you? What does that make you? I don't know. Okay, I need some more. Actually, just there's some loose ones in here. I don't know why. 1, 2, might as well use them. I try to, whenever I find any loose ones, I try to salvage them. Put them in there, but then I forget to use them. Okay, so there's one here. Sit down. And where's the other one? Oh, just there. Okay. Okay, so that's all the 10s. The crow, you can hear the crow? Yeah. The crow, the claw, the claw. Okay, so 10s are on. I'll do the other sides in a minute. Okay, I need put that back. I need a 10 microfarad, a 1 and a 2. 1, 2, and a 10 microfarad. Where am I putting them? I'll drop them. You should be using your turntable, as you could lose the parts. No, they're 0805. They're massive. I'm not going to lose them. I lose 0402s all the time. Like that one. Like that one I just found over here. Yeah. So I lose 0402s all the time. All the time, but okay, I need a 1. Stick the 1 on. It's just a voltage divider up here, so I can check the 5 volt input on a 3.3 volt I/O. Okay, 2K. I think my carpet is more for. Yeah, it's a. I used to get really worried about all the ones I lost, but now I just don't anymore. Like, it's just when I flick one, when I'm trying to put something on and they flick out of my tweezers and they're gone. I used to try to find them. Now I just don't bother. It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Okay. Cool, that's probably some in the vacuum cleaner. Okay, and I need, there's the 10 UF. That's just on the battery. The JST connector. And then I need some 300s for the RGB LED, and then we're done, I think, for the, the JST got to put on. Okay, put these back, get the 300s. Looks likely, but not worth trying to fish it out. Wonder why you don't order this pre-made. Order what pre-made? Sorry, Michael. Hi, by the way. I don't know if I said hi. What do you mean by pre-made? As in pre-assembled? Okay. I've written 300 here, but I've only got 330s. Did you use 10Ks as... I did. I know I can use it. Some people say 4.7, some people say 10. This has been prototyped with 10. What? Well, firstly, because that's super expensive to get someone else to do it. And because that's what I do. I make stuff. Like, why would I... Part of this journey is the making. I mean, this is for me. Why would I get someone else to make it for me? I'm able to make it myself. A test jig. If I got someone else to make it, what would I do in my streams? I'd go, here's one someone else prepared earlier. Yeah, and by me making it means I can swap parts out, I can change my mind on things, I can do whatever. Okay, so I have to do the other sides. Yes, I know. I'll do that in a moment. Everyone remind me to do that. Okay, I need to do some pads. And do these one. So JSTs are quite difficult to put on by hand, just letting you know. And my TinyPICO is going to ship without the JST connectors on them, by the way. They'll come with a connector, but you're going to have to hand solder them yourself. Why? Well, because not everyone's going to want the JST connector on. And it's also, I think I'm going to ship it with a normal size JST. Oh, it's not even on screen. Sorry. Sorry, that wasn't even on screen. Hey, Matt. In the flesh, yes. But I'm only just getting around to doing it now. Yeah, I'm going to probably ship each TinyPICO with this is a PH JST connector and a microblade one. So it means that you get the choice to put either on or neither, but you're going to have to put it on yourself. Yeah, sorry about the off camera. Sorry. Now let's melt the plastic. They're not impossible to put on by hand. Like they're very doable. Bring it tonight. I plan on bringing a lot of stuff tonight, Matt. We've got a MicroPython meetup tonight, folks. Oh, I've got some other news. Just let everyone know. So there's been a lot that the TinyPICO's been waiting on. So I think I mentioned in my last stream that the new IDF has been released that has support for PSRAM for Pico finally. The next bit of news, now that that's out, is that the next version of MicroPython is about to drop. version 1.10. 1.10.0 I think it is, and it's being built against the latest IDF. It's been upgraded to the latest IDF, which means it's got full, in mainline now, full PSRAM support for the TinyPICO, where before I was going to have to provide a custom firmware that I would pre-build that you have to download and use that. Now you can just build it off mainline MicroPython. It's very exciting. So, okay, that's the JST on. Now let me just do all the other sides of the resistors before I forget, and caps. So I've been waiting on that. And Matt, and I think Oliver, and who else? And Sean. You don't know Oliver and Sean, but Oliver and Sean have been helping Matt on the ESP32 documentation updates for MicroPython. So it means that the when 1.10 drops, it's got updated quick reference guide and examples and stuff for the ESP32. There's been some love put there, which is nice. So yeah, that's exciting. It's been it's been something that's been hanging over my head because I didn't want to. I mean, I could have, but I didn't want to release the TinyPICO where you couldn't build mainline MicroPython to get PSRAM working. So now you don't have to. It's all done for you. Okay, so it's 1, 2, did all those, did those, did those, did those, did those. I think that's all of them. What about pinout question for the SRAM? What about the pinout? Which question was that? So what? Oh, right. So what they did, what Espressif did, was they. So you're talking about IO12, the locked pin. Is that what you mean? Gaston? I'll let you clarify first. Okay, I need to put some buttons on. Well, by the way, I've not even checked if this footprint's right. Hope this fits. Oh. Oh, come on. Oh, don't you dare. Kind of fits. Oh, right. Sorry. I know what I need to do. Need to reflow the other end of the resistors. I know, they're not fantastic. They look a bit yuck. I know, but as long as they work. Maybe I'll hot air them after. I might hot air them after. I know. Right now, I just want functional. It's not nice. Right, I forgot. These little buttons have got little tabs, but I didn't use a footprint that had the tabs. So I've been trying to push them in and I couldn't do it. I'm just going to cut them off. Whoop, don't know where that went. Whoop, don't know where that went. Okay, let's try that again. Now hopefully this will fit. Ah, perfect. Whew. Bit of solder braid, suck off the excess. Yeah, I'll clean it up. I'll clean it up at some point. This is a test jig. It's for my use. It's not going out to anyone else. Well, this one, I don't think this one will. When I'm ready to go to China, I'm pretty sure this one will be my test jig. My hacked one. Mike Swan, is there a Mac supported PSRAM? Right, so there is. I'm still waiting for Gaston to come back with his qualification of his question. If he hasn't. Oh, I can't remember exactly. He had different pin out. Oh, right. Okay. Yes. Let me answer that one first. So, for the CS pin, Espressif, we're going to hard code pin IO10, which we don't use. I don't use. And so what they did, so Angus Grattan, who works at Espressif, went and championed this for us, and they made that pin configurable. So as part of the make file, or however you do it when you build it, you can tell it what pin it's going to be. And so you can just set it to pin 10, which is fantastic. So it means that, and right now there's no Arduino support. They haven't updated the Arduino for the latest IDF yet, I don't believe. when they do, that'll be exposed as well as something that you can set. So I'm not sure what's happening in Arduino land yet. So with PSRAM, there is. So the TinyPICO's got 4 megabytes. Well, no. The TinyPICO's got 8 megabyte chip on the back. It's a 64 megabit chip. So 8 megabytes, but you can't address that. The maximum you can actually address with the IDF, with the ESP32 is 4. But you don't get the whole 4, unfortunately. You get about, right now it's about anywhere between 2.8 and 3.2. Officially it's 2.8. Unofficially it's 3.2 if you do some mangling with the code, which we don't want to do. Matt and I had a chat about it, and Damien, who obviously he invented MicroPython. We've been chatting about the state of PSRAM, and what we're doing is we're just using the straight up calls that IDF uses. We want to be fully compatible with IDF. So that way any changes that happen to IDF down the line, we can stay in line with. And so the way that they allocate the RAM and against the heap, and then their lookup tables and stuff, you effectively only get an extra 2.8 meg or 2.7 megabytes. So there's a lot less RAM that you get available than what is on the chip, but it's way more. So an extra 4 meg is all the micro can address on top of the onboard 5, but it does support bank switching. Right, Matt's just posting in there. Right, except you don't get the full 4 meg, is what I'm trying to say. You really only effectively get about 2.8. Which is stacks. I mean, 2.8 meg of RAM in microcontroller land is a massive amount of RAM, right? So, and the fact that there is 8 meg on there, it means that it's future-proof. So in the future, if IDF, if Espressif find a way of easily letting you access the whole 4 meg, or even better, if they find a way of automating bank switching for you so you don't have to do it yourself, or at the low level, like, because right now, it's, potentially, when you're bank switching, you don't have access to the whole amount, so you have to have 2 pools, which means it can't be on the heap. There's a lot of issues with doing bank switching. So it means that down the line, if Espressif find new ways of, managing their RAM and stuff like that, then potentially you'll have access to more. And the reason I'm using an 8 meg chip instead of a 4 meg chip is because that's what there was. I mean, you can get 32 megabit chips, but the ones that were recommended were the 64s to be compatible, and that's what I used. You could also make another daughter board for extra RAM that can be bank switched. Sure, except in this case I don't need to, because you've already got the 8 meg on here. Right? So you could, if you want to code the bank switching yourself, absolutely, and you can access stacks of RAM on here. Right? You can use all the RAM on here, but you can't use it just as a standard, it's on the heap and I have unlimited access to the 8 meg on the heap. Right? If you want to talk to the memory directly and do your own memory management and stuff and whatever, you can have the full 8 meg, absolutely. But if you want to just say, hey, I want my overall microcontroller memory to be this big and just do stuff on the heap and not have to worry about managing your own memory, then you're limited to the 4, which is actually about 2.8. Yes, 640k of RAM. No one will ever need any more. Okay, so that's everything on, except I need to put the RGB LED, and I need to make sure that I've got these the right way. Wow, I've got to remember which one was which. Oh boy, let's see which one is which. So red is on the left. Red is on the left. So it's normally red and then ground and then G and B or B and G, whichever, doesn't matter. Red and ground. So red. So I'm pretty sure it goes like this. If I can get it in. Wow. Hello. Get in the holes. Thank you. Wow, that was hard. What did I miss? 2 times 2114 SRAM chips. 1K times 4 was all I could afford. Yes. RAM used to be expensive. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . I just thought about something. I might have a problem. If I put that in now, I might have a problem getting the pogo pins in. I don't know. You should add ESD protection on USB. Nah. ESD protections for suckers. Sorry. You're not wrong, J-Man. You're not wrong. There's lots of things you could do, but I think we discussed last week in stream or the week before. ESD is definitely not as much of an issue as it used to be. I'm not saying it should be ignored. You know, don't do what I do what I say. No. That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean. Yeah, we get these on. But yeah, yeah. Once again, if I was getting the USB certified for whatever reason on one of my boards, then I'd have to put ESD protection and other stuff. Paul dude. For suckers, yeah. Yeah, I just... Sure. If I was going through certification, then I would have to put ESD protection amongst other things. But I'm not. It's a hobby board. I'm not going through certification. And at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure, I could be totally wrong, I'm pretty sure that if someone's going to mess the board up, they're going to short it and blow it up before they kill it from ESD on the USB port, personally. How many header pins is the PICO with? I don't know. How many is it? It's, let's have a look. Can't remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you get lots of space. You get 3 on one side and 2 on the other side on a normal width USB. Normal width breadboard. God, he's doing well. Doing well. Okay, what else do I need? I need to put this header on. But I need to do pogo pins. I haven't got my pogo pins out. Oh! And I just dropped them all over the floor. Well done, Sion. Everyone hear that? One moment. Whew. Wow. So, they're all in bags, but I had stacks of these and I picked those up. There's still more on the floor. They're black and I've got black carpet. Yeah, so I've got lots of pogos and I believe I've got more. Bear with me. One. No, I'm not going to say it. Almost said it. Okay. Yeah, I'm not using a vacuum cleaner. No. No, I keep them in the bag. Let me just zoom out for a sec. So, I ordered some new things. Oh, did I just put my address? Wow, I'm on a roll. Did everyone see that? Good one, Sion. I'm an idiot today. I'm an absolute idiot. Brave walking around without shoes. Why? By the way, everyone, Thursday here is going to be 38 degrees and Friday is going to be 41. 41 degrees on Friday. So I don't know what's in here. I ordered 2 things. Let's find out. I ordered new pogo pins, not for this, but I also ordered pogo holders. And I don't know which one this is. So how's this for, we're opening mail on video. Hopefully these are the holders. No, they're not. Damn! Oh well. Chuck that behind me. Ugh. So I ordered holders that you solder in and then you can replace the pogo pins. Does that make sense? And it also lifts it higher. But they haven't arrived yet, and that's really disappointing. I was hoping they'd be here in time, so I didn't have to solder the pogo pins directly to the board. Whatever. 41 in the shade. Yeah, it's going to be way too hot. Oh, Matt's still watching. What's going on? Wow, Matt. So I need pins. So I need these ones. I've got all different types of pins, but I'm going to use the conical head, not the spear. Let's go closer again. Mailbag dud. Yeah, that was a mailbag fail, that was. So I'm using conical pins, and I was really hoping to get... I hope these fit. Yeah, I was really hoping to get the extenders so I could solder those in and just plug these in and get it really nice and high. The higher it is, the less interference it's going to have with anything else. But nope, not going to happen. Okay, so I need a whole bunch of these. I leaked the address. Now, where did I have the glitter? You're going to make me a glitter bomb? Ah, whatever. Running late to work. Okay. So, for anyone that wants my address, by the way, all you need to do is buy something off me from Tindy, and you can have my address. Just saying. Right, so what I need to do, I don't even know... Right, I should have put the pogos on first. I don't even know how I'm going to do this now. I'm going to have to put it the other way. I'm going to have to build a stack. I haven't... I need to pull out just a little bit. I haven't... break out the beers. This is going to be a disaster. I put no thought into how this is going to work, folks, because this is seriously the first one I'm making. I don't know how this is going to work. I'm going to have to... Don't know if we're going to have enough. So what I'm doing off camera, because it's conical, so it won't fit through. You need a support board for the pogo. That's what I'm trying to do now. So I'm trying to use these other PCBs as the support board. David's here! Hello, David. I'm wanting to use these other ones. There we go. So, there's a pogo in, sticking out that far, but it's going to have to go this way once I put them all in. Just bear with me a second, and then, yeah, that'll work. And then there'll be enough at the back here to solder. You see that? Look at that. I'm glad I bought 10. Need 8 PCBs to assemble 1 PCB. Yes, don't accidentally solder the boards together. Thanks. So I need to, let's fill these in, shall we? This is going to be fun. This is going to be a disaster. A disaster. Wait, I should have done the pogos first, so if I wrecked them... Yeah, anyway. Lucky I've got enough. I've got 100 pogos, and I've got more I ordered. No, I haven't actually, not this size. I don't have any this size. I've got thinner ones. How are you going to remove the spare boards afterwards? Oh, shit. Good question. Wow. That's a really good question. I'm not going to be able to. Thanks, Ben. Disaster averted. Wow, how was I going to... that's a really good point. How do I do this then? I don't understand how I'm supposed to do this. Yeah, thanks, Alan. Too slow. P75s, yeah, they don't fit in the breadboard. Not the heads anyway. Or, yeah, not even the bases. Interesting. So how am I supposed to do this? Punch it in the cardboard. Oh, I don't want to do a 3D printed jig, but I should have done a 3D printed jig. Oh, this isn't frustrating at all. Okay, so what about... Oh, no. The pins won't fit in a prototype board. Oh, in a proto board, right. But how's that... That's the same as these, though. How's that going to help me? Like his proto, it's still not going to work because these pins, they don't fit through. Upside down with boards just to lift it. Laser cut jig. Yeah, well, I can't do all that now. Can't do that now. Oh. Upside down with the boards just to lift it. Yeah, I was just thinking of that then, but it needs that. That LED now is sitting too high. That's annoying. Wow. I am an idiot. But even if I did it like this, sorry, just so you can see, even if I did it like this, and I had this sitting, just for argument's sake, if I just put that through, assuming it was sitting flat, there's still no guarantee that if I solder these along, that's not even on camera, this one I put here, if I solder them along, they're going to be straight. I need them to be straight. Oh, this is so frustrating. On the bottom. Place the board on the bottom. Solder top side. Right, but that's... I still need it to... See, if I put all... I'm just going to fill this in. On the bottom, fit another board. But they've got to come out. Like they... Hang on. How do the pogos sit in the TinyPICO? They're conical, right? You can't even see the heads, so they don't go through the pad. The heads are too big to go through the pad, which means that they're too big to go through anything. So unless I drill out all of these holes and make them super wide so the heads can go through. One board at the bottom with pogo ends, the other board is a spacer. Right, except well, that's what I'm going to try now. But I need the heights to be right as well. So I'm not sure how I'm going to... We'll see. Just bear with me a sec. I need to populate this first. No, use the stack you just used when you were commenting about how you keep them aligned. I can't use the stack because they won't... Once I've soldered them, the stack's stuck there between the conical head and the soldering. I'm not sure how I can drill out some proto boards. Right, but I need a lot of them. I'd have to cut up. I don't have enough. I don't have a stack that high of proto boards left. Oh, I could rip some off some stencils. No, use a TinyPICO as you would when testing. That's what I'm going to do. But that's why I'm putting these in now. Rob. Pillow's calling. Bye, Gaston. Thanks for joining. See you later. Right, so like if I do that, and then I do... Oops, did I miss one? Looks like I missed one. That would have been bad. Plastic square shroud, I don't... Yep. Right, so if I do that, and then it doesn't matter which way it goes. If I do this to hold them in place... Just for now, right? Freaking laser. Right, now the problem is I need to separate these two boards now, lift this board up to solder them, right? While not having them pop out of these holes. The heads won't go through. The heads are conical. They won't go through the pins on purpose, right? So they won't go through the holes. So, oh boy. Hey, Graham. Yeah, it's not a tense moment. You can solder it from the back. I have to solder it from the back here, but these are going to be down. These are going to be flush. But they've got to be straight. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to... I don't see how... I don't see how I'm going to do this without a jig. Can you solder the pogos on the top? Resting on the pins to keep them aligned. Hello, welcome. Yeah. So I know what you mean. You mean like, so if I did this, see they're not straight. I can't even get the board down. So I mean, if I do this, and then I do this to keep them aligned, even if I just do the four corners, yeah, maybe, whatever. Okay, if I did that, and then just solder from the top, I could do that. Yeah, just to hold them in place. The board's raised a little bit because of this side, so there's a bit of an angle. Yeah, I don't have any foam. I've got nothing that I can support that with right now. After you slide through a couple of boards, drop flat on bench. After I slide through a couple of boards. What do you mean slide through a couple of boards? I can't slide anything through. I can only slide through from the bottom. The top doesn't go through, right? They're pogos. So, yeah, I need to use a, I can do that, but yep. That's fine. The issue is still, hand the edge over a block. Use wood for support. So many options. So my problem's going to be, yeah, I can't, there's nothing I've got to clamp it with. And weight's not going to help because it's going to move. The stack of other boards, yeah, don't know what you mean. But what if you blue tack one side straight? Will it hold the other side while you solder it? I don't know. And Michael just sent a link. It's got to be soldered under, I know, but I could start soldering it. I could solder them on the top to hold them still, and then I could solder them underneath. I think. I could do that. I need a jig. I know I need a jig. Right, Michael, how do I get the other board out, though? Then I've got two boards there forever. Michael? If I solder the bottom of that, so Michael just sent this image, but this is the whole problem that we've been discussing. Once I do that, I can't get this top board off because there's conical ends on the top. The board won't come off, so I've suddenly got two boards there. Does that make sense? So that's my whole problem. That's what I was going to do with the whole stack, but that won't work. Oh boy, it would be so much easier if you had three hands. Yeah, can I have an extra hand? Can someone come over and hold this for me? Alan? Nope, have stack a few proto boards underneath. Permanently have proto boards underneath? Well, yes, firstly, because I need this to be as high as possible. So by having proto boards underneath to hold it still, reduces my height of my pins, and I can't do that. I need it high. Do like the image, but solder the top, then remove the bottom one. Right, but I don't think that's still going to be enough to keep them still, to keep them straight, personally. I can try, just to see. So I'll lose 1.6 mil on the height. Let's see if I can do that. So like if I put that, yeah, so these aren't even straight. This can't even hold them straight. I don't think 2 boards is going to be enough to hold it straight. But we'll see. I'll try it. So, can't see what I'm doing. I'm just trying to feed this through without having to redo them all by hand again. But it might be quicker to do them by hand. Okay, one more. Just gotta fit one more in. Come on, sucker. Get in there. Get in. Okay, right. So now, I'm just going to take that off for a moment just to see. So what I can do, I'm wedging these two in opposite directions, which technically means that they're bending over slightly. They're technically bending over slightly, but they're aligned. Does that make sense? I'm putting pressure, so they're locked in place. So I could technically solder the tops now. I still don't have a spare hand. I could try to tape this. I could tape this down and do it. Once you've got the opposing corners squared, you can, yeah, drill holes in the board. But I have to do that for every board, Paul. Because I need a stack of them. Like, 2's not going to be enough unless I do it this way. Yeah, I can do it like this. So let me just let go. Get the good old... good old painter's tape. Get Yuz. No. Probably not. I don't have any clamps here. I could probably clamp them to the edge of the desk, but then no one's going to see what I'm doing. This way everyone can see what I'm doing. Look, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Whatever. 1 pin for holding. I just need to wedge them first. I'm going to do it this way. Yeah. Just for now. Yeah, so they're already moving. This should hopefully just work for now. I mean, it'd be great if this was still on there and holding it. Maybe just like that. Okay. Here we go. I'll do my best. My best sometimes falls short, folks. Drop the pico on top. Yep. Yep. So what I'll do is I'll put some solder. I'll do one corner and then I'll hold the pico, hold it still, and then redo it on each one. I know you can't really see what I'm doing. Hang on, maybe you can. Can I get? How close can I get? That's as close as I can get. Try to focus the camera. Here we go. What's the worst that can happen? Get jiggy. Sion's getting jiggy. Actually can't really see what I'm doing, by the way. I'm just going to do the 4 corners to start with. Except I can't really get to those corners. I can't see the back ones, and I've taped it down. And what happened to the focus? Sorry. Sorry. My camera's being a... No. No. My camera won't focus. No. What are you doing, camera? Yes. Stay. Is that focused? Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. I don't know what's going on with the camera. I don't know. Right now, how do I get to the... I can't get to these back pins. Not easily. I'm pretty far away from this. Oh, that's an ugly blob of solder. Oops. Okay. No, too much solder. Not too much. Yeah, I'm trying not to, but I can't see what I'm doing. It doesn't matter if there's too much solder. No, I wanted to do the 4 corners first, you wallaby. I wanted to do the 4 corners. Does that make sense? Okay, so back pins. Use the unexpected force. Close my eyes and just solder away. Makes you want to use pogo pins. No, don't use pogo pins. They're a bitch. Anyway, so okay, I just need to, yeah, I need to tack each one, but tacking it's hard because getting the heat on the pad is hard. It goes up the whole thing. And it's in the dark. I can't see what I'm doing. I can't even see if I got all those. Because of the light. I need some light. Okay, no, that one didn't work. Light makes a big difference. So that's bright on my head. Okay, that's one side. I think they are all on. Yeah, I'll clean it up later. I need to get to the other side though. I need to untape this now. Hopefully it'll stay in place. Just going to flip it around. Awesome. Hope they're not stuck together, these. If I've soldered the boards together, I'm in big trouble. You see, I don't even need the tape anymore, I don't think. Sorry about the light. Let's move these over here. I want to get these on and see what happens. Dangle the pins. Dangle the what? At least you didn't just do the corner ones and remove the holder. No, that would have been silly. Oh, see, that one's moving. That's not good. What I'm going to do is, if I can, I'm just going to hold that thought. This is going to get hot, maybe. I'm just going to retouch them up when I'm pushing them down. Oh! Oh! Hot. Use solder paste to put pressure on the Pico. Reflow with an iron. Yeah, okay. Truth time. They do not look very straight at all. Wow. Not at all. So I need to, this could be the hot one I did. Hang on. Need to fix that one. How does that look? Cooked pork. Red finger. Okay, how do they look? They're all mechanically in. That one's wobbly, that one's not straight. Okay, I need to fix that one. I mean, I think they're touching, like it's going to work, but I'd like it better. That one as well at the end. It worked, yeah. Thanks everyone for your help. That was excellent. Excellent community problem solving. Yeah, I know they're forgiving. I'd just like them to be a bit like that one there. I want them to be as straight as possible to eliminate as much issue as possible on the line. Like I don't want some tester in China to break one because it's out slightly and they push it too hard. Yes, a jig will be a good idea. I thought I'd solve the jig with the boards pile, but clearly I hadn't thought that one through. Clearly, and I'll take full responsibility for that one. Is that standard? Yes, a standard 2.54 spacing. Standard breadboard. Now the question is, will they come apart? Wow, that's not good. Oh, and one pin fell out. Okay, so we have to put that pin on again, and then we need to, more importantly, work out how to get it off. And I've lost the end of my solder. Okay, so use karate. I'm a bit worried about wrecking their alignment or ripping them out when I separate them. Oh, look at that. They are burnt right through onto my pad. See that? Yeah, wow. So are they straight? They're pretty straight. Look at that. And they're pretty even. Yeah, pull as hard as I can and pull the solder and pull the pins through. And then I have to do it all again. No, you straighten them if the boards are stuck together. Oh, yeah, I know. I'm just going to, rather than using karate, it's a melted desk pad. Not the first melt I've got on it, though. Yeah, I'll just go buy a block of steel. Okay, now, I just want to get my nail in there. Okay, got it. Right, so now the question is, how are they... Yeah, so on a bit of an angle. You see that? Because I had to wedge them. So the question now is, where's my... How do I solder them from the bottom without them moving? That's the question. It's going to be the same issue, right? I need a jig for that. It's not the real makeup head without scars. Yeah, I'd rather not the scars though. Just saying. So for now, I'm going to just leave this like this. Okay, I'm just going to pull it out. I'm going to leave this like this. I'm not going to solder the bottoms for the moment. Because this, I should be able to test with this, right? And then I will build a jig, turn it upside down and solder the bottom. Pico on the bottom. Tape them up. You could make a jig out of the headers. Clamp down the TinyPICO during flashing testing. So, that's a good question, Ben. How am I going to hold them down? So, didn't I discuss this in a previous video? I think I did. I don't know. So my plan is using these two holes here. Dun dun dun. Okay, my plan is using those two holes is to build, I'm going to do this 3D. Ready for this? That's the board. And the TinyPICO is sitting like that, yeah? There'll be, let me just work this out this way. So there'll be a hole here, and there's going to be a pillar, like a, what do we call a pillar? Like a standoff, hollow standoff, 3D printed or metal or something, screwed in from the bottom, and then on the top will be a circle, like a bit of acrylic like that. So from the top it's going to kind of look like kind of like that, right, with a screw here, and you rotate it. So when it's sideways, so here's the board sits underneath it like this. So there'll be one on one corner and one on the other corner, opposite sides like this, and it'll hold it down, and it'll go just over the pads, just enough to hold it in place. Yeah, cam shape, thank you. So it'll be like a cam shape thing, and so you'll just do it with your fingers. I have ordered some other plastic PCB kind of clamp things, not the big metal ones, but little plastic ones. They haven't arrived yet. The problem's going to be I don't know how I can fix them in place. Peak stand with the cam on the top. Thank you, Paul. I knew there was a name for it. If you laser a jig, then perhaps you should make it so left on the top or glued. So, there are two things I need to make, two things I need to design a laser cut. Wow, that light is, right, bad reflection. There's two things I need to design a laser cut for this, right? I need a laser cut, got this stuck, a base for the pie that has the right holes in it to hold it all in place, some acrylic, because obviously there's just bare solder pads on the bottom of the, like it rips up, if I put it on the table, it rips the table, right? And then there's going to be an acrylic piece that sits on top of here. So the acrylic is going to sit around this, like mentioned. The screen was supposed to sit above it, but obviously that might be a problem now. Although now that the pogo pins are in, I might be able to get the acrylic happening. That's fine. And it was supposed to sit around here. So the top of the board is supposed to be protected, and the acrylic, it's only going to be 3mm, but the acrylic will sit with some spaces and hold these in place as well. So yes, there's going to be acrylic protection on the top as well. But I haven't done all that yet because I need to know this was going to be right. So now that the screen is there, there's really not going to be a problem putting the Pico on, right? It's just, yeah, it's not perfect. Even with a, yeah, I probably couldn't get a header. I don't think there are short enough headers. But that's fine. Peg stand with the cam. No, what did I miss? Hey, cheater kid. Okay, so let's, maybe such a jig already exists. I don't know. I haven't seen one. I've seen plenty of all the other types of jigs. Okay, so next is I need to put this header on. The header goes on this way. Right, I should probably get rid of the paper. And I need something to hold it up. What have I got that's the right height? That might do. Okay, let's turn it around so I can get to it. Need to solder this. I don't even know if this is going to work still, folks. Okay. Let's put the header. I'll straighten in a second because it's not quite right. Do I have a? I have a spare header, but I've got two. But there's nowhere for it to sit because of the pins. I don't think it'll. And there's not enough room on the edge to hold it on the edge. I don't think. No, this will work. I'll show you. Watch my skills. You ready? Do one, and I straighten it. And then I check it. Oh, that's good. And then I do another one. And I check it. There's a bit of room What's a bit of room? What room we're talking about? I don't know what we're talking about. Okay. Get solder a bit closer. On the spare headers. There's a bit of room on the spare headers. What spare? What? There's a bit of room on the spare. You mean on the edge of the spare headers to hold it in place? Tiny little bit. This is fine. What's wrong with this? Who's doubting me? Is anyone doubting me? Is that not straight? And even? That looks great. A lot of animals outside making noise today. You know this is likely not to work, right? I'm just going to set everyone's expectations right now. I mean, I breadboarded it, but it's likely not to work. Not going to work. Always doubting you, but in a good, challenging way. Wow, thanks. I'm not sure if I should be, like, honoured or insulted. I'll tell you one thing. I need to pee. Which is making the soldering job rather annoying. I just thought I'd share that on my live stream for anyone that wanted to watch. I need a toilet break. So I have to say, Matt might disagree. He's probably not here anymore. He's probably at work. Actually, Matt definitely will disagree. I'm in pretty good spirits considering how much of a fiasco this whole thing has been over the last 2 weeks. I was pretty bummed yesterday. But, live stream. Don't, Michael. Now you're making me really want to go. All I need now is to hear the sound of running water, and I'm going to be in big trouble. Okay, they're all on. God, I put them the right way, didn't I? Yep, hope so. So, the screen, the plane. Right, I need some blue tack under that. I'd like it to be straight. That'd be nice if it was straight. All the things you can beat me to by hand. By the what? Oh, right. You're all just making jokes of my my toilet requirements, are we? Okay, drip. Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, what am I going to hold this up with? That'll do. Like, who wants to guess that I wired the screen back to front? Finally some blue tack. Bet you the screen's back to front. Something's not going to work. There's just no way this is going to work. And you know what the biggest problem is? Once I pulled my... I've only got the one Pi. So once I pulled my breadboard apart, there's no going back. I'm not rewiring the breadboard. Not going to happen. Vote for a pee break. We're voting for... We're going to do a pee break? Yeah? 3 dislikes. Yeah, it happens. What can I tell you? Okay, that's everything on. Look, I even got a nice green button. That is everything. That didn't take long. Right, let me just do some quick tidying up because this is a disaster zone in front of me right now. feels like one. Okay, you all vote for Con. Let me know if there's going to be a pee break. Like, if you guys decide no, that's fine. I'll just... You won't even know if I do it in my pants. Just going to take those out. Bit the shorts out the pie when he plugs the board in. Oh, that's not nice. I've only got the one pie. Don't say that. Don't say that. I'll do some short testing now. I'll pull out the multimeter. Need to put that away. Let me just do some tidy up. Are we voting? Are you guys going to let me go to the bathroom or not? Then I can go. Not missing. Okay. It's official. We're having a pee break. I'm going to mute the camera, the thing. Always break before plugging it in. Yeah, I need to. Okay. We're back. I'm back. Have you a spare one here? Been trying to drop my spare what? What? Ah, the relief. Tell me about it. Wow. What a relief. My battery died. Hang on my light. Okay. We have light again. Cool. Can't hear the crew. Just said goodbye to my family as well. They're off for the day. I think they're going to go swimming or somewhere. And I get to spend my time here with you. No, it's good. All good. The true prankster has track of tap running that goes 30 seconds. Has a track of a tap running. No. Well, this was not a pranking thing. I just needed to go. Very rarely do I need that to happen during a stream, and I had some long streams, but, well, the stream jokes is going to keep coming, isn't it? But I had to go. Had to. Okay. Just gonna do some testing first, because you've all got me nervous now. Okay, so let's just check that there's no shorts on ground and. Well, let's check ground to ground. Actually, this ground won't be connected. That'll be ground test. So that's correct. Okay, good. That's good. So that shouldn't be. So that ground is not connected to ground. That ground is pulled up and is connected to an I/O. And it should pull it down when I plug a Pico in. So let's make sure that this ground is not connected to anything. That ground it is. Oops, I'm touching the other pin. I'm hoping these pogos are mechanically connected nicely. Switch cover is wonky. What? Switch cover. This, it moves. It's just that's the way it is. Nothing I can do about that. Right, so we did a community P just then. Hey, in the future, guys, if anyone needs to, like, I know you can just disappear and take care of business and come back, and I won't even know. But in the future, if we want to break, like if we want to do a collective P break, so no one misses anything, just speak up. We're all human. Okay, now, I gotta remember, I don't know where grounds are everywhere. Where's ground? I know that ground's over there, so let's check this ground to ground. Good, ground's connected. Okay, and check 5 volt. Just make sure that 5 volt is not connected to anything except for an IO. Okay, cool. So any shorts along here, I don't know which these headers are anymore. I can't remember. Let me just remember which one ground is on this board, just to make sure I haven't wrecked the headers in any way for V-bus. Okay, power, and then where's the closest ground? No, it's ground test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's ground. Make sure that ground and power is not touching. Good. Okay. Because the first 2 pins are 5 volt and 3 volt. I don't know about P break, but I'd be down to do a collective T break. Right. Well, I can't think about drinking more while I'm busting for the loo. Don't look at the resistor orientation. Yeah, okay. I'm surprised Greg still watches any of my stuff. Okay, J-Man, that's too much info. Check the LCD power to LCD power. What am I checking? So ground and ground. Ground to ground's connected. Yes. So it's the correct way. And then V in, which should be 3.3 volts, I think is... Yep. Good. Okay, so that's working. Yay! Potty food, tea breaks. Do an hourly break. Okay, so this looks good, I think. What do you reckon? So my only concern about this, I mean, apart from whether the design works or not, is whether all these soldering pads here on these resistors are any good. Some of these look a bit nasty. I might have to fix those later. But now, so here's the thing. Here's my pie. My pie. Apple pie. Here's my pie. You see this mess of... I'm going to have to pull all these wires off and check it. Yes, I've had DHL delivery break in the past. So I need to pull all these out. Once I've pulled all these out, there is no going back. No going back. +1 on the multi-hour stream. The idea of a scheduled tea, coffee, P break is actually not silly. I'd love another cup of coffee, folks. But that takes time, right? It's not as quick as a P break. So, but yeah, we can. I'm quite happy to do it. Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys can just disappear if you want to. I can't. Okay, are we doing it? We're going to pull these out? No, I'm not going to redo it. I'm not redoing it. I'm going to take a photo anyway, just to remind myself of the tragedy. The tragedy that this was. It's a working tragedy. There we go. I took a photo. Can I go pee? You don't have to ask my permission. You can just go. Yeah, I've always got pictures from the stream. Just go. But if we want to do a collective break, it needs a way of polling. We need to be able to poll. I think I might have a video of it. Or a few. Okay, here we go. Bye. Bye, breadboard. Oh, look at that. How nice does that look? So, before I do anything... So, this is the cable for the Pico. I'll just take that out for the moment. That's the Pico. So... Wow, actually that's interesting. Will that even reach? Wow, I might need a longer cable. here we go. I'm just going to see what happens when I plug it in. I'm not, as in header-wise, height-wise. Wow, that's close. Those pins from the button are too close. I'm going to have to put something in between. They're about 1/2 mil from touching. They're actually probably even touching. Actually, that's not even all the way on because of it. So I might need to have a spacer because I don't want any shorting. That's the power button that resets. That shuts down. Don't forget to put the standoff in place. Yeah, no, I'm just plugging it in just to have a look. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to use standoffs in a bit more. Double the header. If I double the header, I can't use the standoffs. Yeah, that's... I'm just going to put the standoffs on. But I'm pretty sure they're the exact right height. Yeah, I just need to put some tape or something, something insulated. That's fine. It's solvable, so long as the extra tape doesn't make the header sit too high. So no contact between Pi and Pico test PCB. Huh? What do you mean, Yuri? Cut the pins flush. Which pins? I can cut the pins on the button on the bottom. I don't want to do that yet. Let's see if it works first. Oh my god, I can't even screw this on. Paul said just for now. What's the just for now for? Oh, double the header just for now. Yeah, I can double it just for now. But some of this is to see whether it works, but some of it is to see how it's going to fit together. So, who got real coffee? Oh, right. Yeah, the pins on the buttons. Yeah, I can cut them. I don't want to do it yet. I want to wait. And why am I doing this so close? I don't know. I just want to wait before I cut anything. Call me superstitious. Wow. I get that extra nut on the bottom, the standoffs are a little extra height. Yeah, I think one nut might be too much. I'm worried about how far I pull it off this header to still make contact. It could just be maybe just a washer is all I need. And there is a bit of room to cut these. But just for now, I just want to see how close this all fits. Like, I'm pretty sure that the pins here are going to be in the way of it even sitting on the header. Yeah, see right now, see that? The header doesn't even touch the board here because of this gap, because of the pads. But that's okay. Sorry. So what I need is yeah. What I want to do right now. Just want to put some tape down first for now. Just for the moment, just in case I don't make a mistake. Time for Raspberry Pi A model. No double height USB. No, A model, no. The A plus model has the non-fully compliant USB connectors. It's got the on-the-go ones. Will not hot swap a TinyPICO. It's the same problem I had with the Pi 0W, which is why I'm not using a Pi 0W anymore. So no, do not want to use an A+. Yeah, I need taller standoffs. Or I need to, there's plenty of room on the bottom. So I could definitely add another nut underneath here. I just want to test for now though. It's just electrical tape. I'm assuming electrical tape is non-conductive, right? But it might pin through it. I might double it. Just layer of kept on tape. I didn't know about the A+. Yes, it's got the stupid on-the-go, non-fully compliant. So compliant is not the right word. It's a non-fully featured USB port. Doesn't support hot swapping, which means I can't plug a Pico in, unplug it, plug another Pico in. It resets the board every time. Every time it detects something new, it resets it, which is really not good. I'm going to do that, but yeah, maybe I need 4 more screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. The tall ones, short ones. I'll use these short ones. It's insulating, but I'm scared that the sharpness of the pins are going to pick through it. How does a USB port not support hot swapping? Because it's not a fully featured, it's not a fully implemented USB port. It's an on-the-go port. They're different. It doesn't have a full USB controller on it. And there are hacks some people have done. Like if you use a special cable that goes to a certain type of hub. Just look online about hot swapping. Hot swapping on the Pi 0W or A+. If you plug the on-the-go cable into a hub, it's got to be a special hub. When I say special, it's got to be, I believe it's got to be self-powered but in a certain way. Then apparently you can hot swap out of the hub. But I can't send that to China. I can't have a cable going to a hub that needs separate power that then hot swaps. Like that's asking for trouble. So I'm doubling up the nuts as we just spoke about. So now there's a nut in between to give me that extra amount of space, and hopefully it won't be too much. No, it doesn't actually. Well, whatever. It doesn't support hot swapping. It's not a fully featured USB port. So I tried all the steps with the hubs I had. I tried 3 different hubs here, 2 unpowered and 1 powered, and I could not get it hot swapping. Apparently other people have, but it wasn't a good enough solution for me for China. Remember, everything for China that goes to China has to be completely simple and foolproof. So, yeah. Sorry about this. This is like watching grass grow, I know. But better safe than sorry. It's nuts. They're not going through very far. It's a bit of a worry. I wonder if I can find thinner nuts. I know I can use, actually I don't even know if I can use washers that have to be very, very thin, preferably nylon. So not thin, the circumference will have to be very narrow, very small. You can put longer header pins on the Pi for other ones. For the other ones, you put longer header pins. Yes, I can. No, these Pis come with the header pins already on there. I don't want to solder these off. I've not found a B+ that doesn't come with header pins already on. The 0Ws don't have them on, but these ones do. Otherwise, yeah, that would have been great. I've got some super tall ones. But yeah, no. Okay, so let's see how far this fits on now. Lots of thin washers with your laser. My laser. Yeah, see, I'm Okay. So that, yeah, that's good, except my worry is that this space here, like, is that going to be enough of a connection? I don't know. What I'm going to do for now, though, is get some screws and screw together so it's not loose. Loose as a goose. Solder programming header flush with the programming board to get the little extra. Solder the programming header flush with the programming board. Oh, right, yes. I could, yes, potentially push that down a bit. I think we're okay. I think we're okay. So I didn't check. Are these 2.5 or M? I'm not sure what size these are. The ones I'm screwing in now are 2.5, but I don't know what size the header is. Yep, 2.5. Cool. Beep out the pins on the board, but they look connected to me. Yeah, I think they're connected. I felt the pressure when they went in. There was a bit of give, so I think they're going to be okay. But I'm just going to screw this together, at least 2 of them, just to hold it together for now. Googling hasn't helped me find the issue being discussed yet. Are you looking for the A+? Start with the Pi 0W. I can look for you later. Yeah, okay, so, yeah, there's a gap now, I believe. Okay, so, wow, how are we feeling? How are we feeling? I need a power cable, a USB cable. Okay. Let's start with just seeing if the Pi powers up, shall we? And whether I can get the screen up. So, silly place for the power connector on the Pi. Here we go. Ready? Use SMD buttons. I could use SMD buttons. Okay, we have power lights on the Pi. It's booting. Okay. Let me just put this away. Well, there should be no reason why the Pi doesn't boot. Well, there's no shorts. That's good. I need to get some Visual Studio code happening. That's a courier. Back in a sec. Hey everyone, that wasn't a courier. It was an Alan. Alan from the chat is here. He brought me another Pi. This is a, let's open this up. It's an older Pi. Of course I can't read it because of the case. How do you open this case?
Need a flat screwdriver.
Yeah, I don't know how to open it. It's a, I think it's like it's a model B, I think.
It's a B plus. Okay.
Sorry?
It's a B plus or something. I'm not sure.
Or a B plus. That's a right, but a model 2 or don't know. Oh, actually, don't know. Anyway, but Alan doesn't want to come on camera. He doesn't want to. Poor Alan. You don't want to say hi?
No.
Let's have a seat on the couch. Grab a chair.
Well.
1 second, guys. Alan's sitting off camera. Can you say hi, Alan?
Hello.
Yeah. But he doesn't want to be on camera. At all. I don't blame him, neither do I. Okay, so I need to, let me switch desktop and cam. Let me see if this boots. The screen should be displaying something. No, not until I run the code. That's why I am now in Visual Studio Code, and I need to connect to the Pi. Raspberry, and then I need to cd TinyPICO programmer. So let me see if I can get this a bit so you can see what I'm doing. Peel the screen. What does peel the screen? No, don't peel the screen. Okay, and then I go what's it called again? Do it. I go Python doit.py. Here we go. Dun 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 dun. Oh, load board. Oh, shut down. Okay, there's a short on the bottom. Okay, so that's not good. It went into shutdown mode. That means it thinks this button is being pressed. Uh-oh. Okay, so let's unplug the Pi. That was shut down, by the way, when I plugged it down. Pulled it out. The actual Pi had shut down. It had closed my connection, as you can see. So I didn't just pull the cable when the file system was open. Okay, let's find out why this button, this side button. Murphy's Law, if anything can go wrong, it'll go wrong the worst possible moment. Every possible moment for me. Pull up resistance not connected. Well, that's what I'm checking. There's a pull down. But it could be that it's not connected properly. So let's find out. Wrong pull up, pull down the button. It should be a pull down. So let's check the button. Could be wired wrong. So, of course, it's going to be hard to get to the pads. I'll try my best. Actually, I don't even know. On my desk. Can't believe I get anything done.
If I could see a spot in it, then yeah.
Yeah, there's one tiny spot left. So maybe I got this wrong. Soft power is being pulled. Oh, right, it's being pulled high. Is that right? It's supposed to be high? What was it here? Hang on. Yeah, it was pulled high here. Maybe my code's looking for low. Maybe it's not being pulled high. So this should be connected to the I/O. And that should be connected to 3 volts. So that and this. So interesting, if I touch the solder, yeah, okay, that's connected. So let me just go to full camera so you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, it needs to go. Yeah, the other side is to ground. If I can get to it. And where's ground? I just need to ground, any ground. Okay. So yeah, it's being pulled high. And then ground, and then it should be pulled down for ground. So maybe I've got the code the other way around. Let me just check my code. Maybe I'm expecting it to be the other way around. I might have. Sure, it isn't puncture the tape. No, there's a gap there. It's not the tape. I don't think. But it could be that I've wired this wrong. That it's supposed to be a pull up. So I need to check my code, and the only way to check the code is to boot the Pi. So I'm going to boot the Pi. I guess it's the code. Yeah, I'm hoping it's the code. I should be able to change it either way. Okay, let's boot the Pi again. Oh, fun.
Measure your voltage on the pin.
Check my code first. You got to talk louder so everyone can hear your suggestions if you're not going to be on camera.
Yeah,
Alan wants me to check the voltage on the pin first. Well, it's 3 volts.
Unless you've got a bad connection.
Or the connector can't reach the board. Yeah, or I've got a bad connection. Well, no, the connector is reaching the board because it detected load board, so it's reading the states of the I/O. Hang on, load board. Yeah, it's detecting that there's no board there, so that's... Oh, maybe. While it's on, check the voltage of the button. Ooh, look at Ben said. I'm going to check the code first. First code. Okay, so let's reconnect to the Pi. Just move this. Oh no, you want to be able to see the code. CD TinyPICO. So mate do it.py. That lets me remotely. Whoops. That's fine. Let's remote look at the code. So the button is soft power 21. Soft power set up as an input. And am I setting it? Okay, where am I checking for it? Right, if it's true, shut down. That should be if it's false. So I must have wired it differently to the breadboard. Yeah, you all tell me to do that, but I'm pretty sure it's my code. So I'm gonna... Worst happens, it's not my code, Patron. Patron is not gonna work. Pretty sure this will... Oops. Dop it. I can't type. Okay, try it again. Load board. And it's not resetting now. But if I hold this for 5 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, shut down and disconnect. So that's my power down sequence. What are you looking at your watch for?
Message came through.
Okay. You got somewhere better to be? This is weird. I finally got someone here for my stream, but he won't go on camera. Okay, so unfortunately there's no on-off switch for the Pi, so I have to unplug it and plug it back in again. That's really annoying. Wow, that's not getting warm at all. Oh. Okay. Here we go. Now we do the big test. I'm going to run it, and I'm going to put a TinyPICO on there, and hopefully not blow it up. Speak up, please, Alan. See? You're too far away from the microphone.
That's okay.
He doesn't want to be on camera or part of it, which is fine. That's fair enough. Really, I wouldn't want to be either. Okay, still booting. Alan needs a mic.
No, prefer my anonymity.
He wants his anonymity.
Anonymity.
Anonymity. Okay, Raspberry. That's my password, folks. Okay. CD TinyPICO Python do it.py. So by the way, I've not progressed at all with any of my code, but it should do what it has done in the past. So yeah, it should. Load board. Okay. I'm going to just go to full screen so everyone can see what I'm doing. Here we go. Oh, right. Interesting. Power. It won't work if I don't plug USB in. Now, will it reach, though? I don't think this cable's going to reach. No. That sucks! I need a longer cable. Uh-oh. Yeah, no. One moment, folks. Careful there. Oh. Seriously, where's a USB cable when you need one? Okay, hang on. I'm going to pull one off here. Okay. Okay, here we go. Pull one out of my Mac. This is obviously going to start running the Wi-Fi code when it boots that I was playing with before. That's fine. So, load board. Ready? Nervous. I'm nervous. I don't know how I'm going to hold it still either with my fingers right now. I probably shouldn't be using a conductive finger surfer, should I? I should use... Sorry?
No gloves.
I don't have gloves. Where am I going to get gloves from? Seriously? Oh, I've got gloves inside the house. Okay, I'm just going to put some bubble wrap to hold it. Okay. Error. 3.3 volts missing. Well, that's not good. I can push button for a reset. Oh, right. No, it did work. It just... So, in order... Like, the test was too quick. Does that make sense? I didn't get a chance to push it down properly. I need to put a delay in there. Wow, that Pico's getting hot. But it says press button. That means it's going to work. So press button means, and the light going out means, it's checked 5 volts. It's checked 3 volts. It's checked the ground. It's found a board. It's found 3 volts and 5 volts. So, you missed LED 7. Here we go, push the button. Searching, no USB device found. Well, that's not good. So it's not finding the USB. Okay. Why is it not finding the USB? Let's go back to here, desktop. Let's try to find out why it's not finding the USB. So ls/dev. Try that again. ls/dev/tty. Oh, too many of them. But anyway, yeah, it's not. There's no TinyPICO there. Let me unplug and plug it back in. Does this have the Wi-Fi? Oh, yeah, that's running the Wi-Fi code. Is that what you mean, Rob? Which is obviously making the board get nice and warm because it's spamming Wi-Fi. Plug it back in. TTY dot nothing / USB. No, it's not finding any USB device. Right, so this is the board that I programmed before. No, it's not charge only. Although, I wonder if it's, this cable could be faulty. Absolutely.
Let's use that short cable that you had just to test it like that.
Yeah, yeah. I'll use the short cable to test that it's finding the device. Based on Alan's suggestion. Yeah, it could be a crappy cable. Okay, it's the Pico, so let's try that again. Maybe it's not USB. What? Message file. What the hell is going on? No, there's definitely no serial. It's not picking it up. Why is that?
Is your code dedicated to one USB port?
No, it works off either, off any. Okay, let me just Wow, maybe it's not picking it up here either. Maybe, what have I done? Did I just... Well, I didn't short the board, obviously, because it's powering up and running. Which one? I should put this one on anyway. I'll change... no, this is picking it up. Slab. Let me just get the Wi-Fi code off it. But anyway... It's there, TTYUWB0. Where? TTY... Oh, USB 0, it was there. Wow, okay. That's weird. Okay, I've changed the code. I'm changing the code anyway. Just give me 1 second. I'm just getting rid of the Wi-Fi code. Just making it run hot. Too hot. So I'm putting my code that does the deep sleepy stuff on there instead, just for now. Sounds not reading. TTY dot, yeah, maybe. My Linux foo is okay. The problem is this cable won't reach. Or maybe if I bend it way out of shape. Okay, let's go back to the camera. LS USB. What? I didn't even know that was a command. What does LS USB? Is that? Oh wow! Didn't know about that. Oh, hang on, but it's not appearing. The TTY USB is there. USB 0 is there. So, do I have any shell? Hang on. I'm just going back in time. I want to see if... Ooh, that's good. I want to see if I've got any R shell commands here. No. Wow. Anyway. Let's see if this is working now. If I can... I don't think I can get it over. I'll try.
Can I feed this underneath it?
Sorry?
Feed the cable through between the pins.
Between the boards?
Yeah, no. Well, take it over the top and sort of bend the cable that will actually come through between the pins underneath the board. Yeah, okay, but put that around through the
No, it's going to be too thick. It's not going to fit.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. Anyway. Like this? Yeah, I'll try, but then I can't read the screen. I'll try my best. Okay, sorry folks, this is going to go badly. Probably going to rip the cable off. Rip the plug off. Okay. It's saying load board. So that's not working. Oh right, the code's not running. I'm an idiot. Sorry. So when the code stops running, the board just sits like this. Like there's no shutdown. Let's try that again. Okay, load board. I'll go back to full screen. This is going to blow up, folks. I'm going to blow this up. I need to get a short cable, but a longer cable. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, press button. Here we go. Searching. Found. Will it flash it? Will it erase it? Oh, this hurts holding it still. Okay, what's it doing? It's stopped. It's found it, but the code stopped, but there's no error. Interesting. Rotate the programmer. What do you mean rotate the programmer? You mean rotate this on the board? What? So why is that happening? It didn't do an ESP tool. It's found it. It's trying to detect the chip, and it's not detecting the chip at this point. But it should show an error. The code is stopped again. Wow, so far so bad. Let me grab another. Where's my other USB? I know this USB works. This is the one I use on my Mac. It's got a longer one, so I don't have to rip it like that. Heading towards a marathon stream. 3.5 hours. Yeah, maybe. We want to see if this is going to work, right? Okay. Let's try that again. I'll use my finger to hold it down this time. It's going to do the whole spaz out thing again, which is fine. Okay. Oh, it didn't that time. Cool. Load board. So here we go. Press. Searching. Found. But it's stopping. So close yet so far. Yeah, the whole thing, this everything. I seem to be forever getting 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards. Okay, that died then when I unplugged it, when I pulled it off. That's okay. So let's have a look at this code and see why this is not working, because I don't know. So it should be, it's not throwing an error. So it gets to here, it finds that, and then it's supposed to switch to checking chip. Right, it's failing to do this, to flash ID, and I don't know why that is. So let's it's the Pico still plugged in. Right, that's working. So it gets to here, it does OK is true. It should be switching state to state true with a 2-second delay. And then it should be the state equals true, checking chip. And it's looking for revision 1. Chip is. So that's, it should find that and continue. You don't need to be root for any of those commands. No, this is the same I've been running the whole time on the breadboard. You bored?
No, I'm just watching.
At
least I'm not the only one that makes these mistakes.
Sorry?
At least I'm not the only one that makes mistakes.
Alan's suggesting that I'm the only one that makes mistakes. No, that's not what he said. So it should be showing wrong revision or correct revision, and it should be moving on to the erasing process. So that is running that command, it works. See you, Cheetah Kid, catch you. So it didn't display checking chip, no. So it didn't get past this. What I should do, let me go to switch state. I'm going to make it, hang on, I have an idea. I just put deep sleep code on it, didn't I? Let me erase it. Maybe it's going into sleep and it can't check the chip. That could be a very good reason why. It won't be able to query the chip with ESP tool if it's asleep. Yeah, I should have put different code on. Okay, let me just, 1 second, I'm going to flash. Let me just get my erase. I'm just going to erase it now. I bet you that's what the problem is. Oh, right. I don't want that. No, it's not crashing because it's not going back to the command line. I bet you this is it. I'm pretty sure. We'll know. Start this again. Okay. Camera. Load board. Okay, so this is now running. There's no code on this at all. Okay, press button. Searching. Checking chip. There we go. Correct revision. Is it buffering? Sorry, folks. Erasing. Come on, please work. Just restart your browsers, folks. Okay. Seems to be stuck on erasing. Hello, are we here? Can anyone see me? Says the stream is bad. Oh, the stream stopped. No one can see anything. Ah! Oh, we're back. Okay, I didn't do anything, folks. I don't know what that was about. But, just to show you, YouTube thinks my stream is bad. There's no drop frames. Oh, no, I'm getting drop frames now. Oh. Okay, I seem to be getting drop frames for some reason. And YouTube says my stream is bad. So maybe it thinks we're done for the day. Stream bad. Dropping frames. No idea why. Can anyone hear me at all? Or see me? Can anyone see me? Hear me? Now it says the stream's okay. Anyone? Oh, technology.
Bloody good stuff.
Anyone? Okay, well, it looks like it could be the end of the stream.
What about the chat, yeah?
Sorry?
The
The chat's working, but the stream's not.
Yeah. It's a pity. But you got it sorted out there, you know what the problem is now.
Sorry?
You know what the problem is now? With that,
No, well, it said erasing success. It finally came back with it took a long time. I don't know what's happening there.
Okay.
No idea why.
But it worked.
Yeah, hang on. Lost the stream. Thanks all for watching. Okay, I'm calling it.
Where was that TinyPICO, that Raspberry Pi from though?